The Rewatchables is brought to you by the Ringer Podcast Network, where you can find Chris Ryan on The Watch, sometimes on The Big Picture, on about 12 other Ringer podcasts, including
Higher Learning.
It happened. You somehow got invited to Higher Learning before me.
On Juneteenth. Very special.
Best episode of the year?
For sure.
Did Rachel know who Chris Ryan was?
Rachel wasn't there. She didn't know who he was.
Does Rachel know who Chris Ryan is?
She doesn't. No, she doesn't. Well, she will know on Monday as we crown the face of the Ringer. Monday.
Face of the Ringer is happening.
The face of the Ringer argument. Chris Ryan was a part of it. You're one of the 4 finalists.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks. That's great.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I said you're the face of the Ringer.
Oh, thanks, Chris.
Yeah. You got just 10% more Boston.
Yeah.
Right now. Oh yeah, I'm on the face of the Ringer.
Am I?
Yeah.
You could also hear Vin on the Ringerverse. On the Midnight Boys.
You.
And sometimes here. My name is Bill Simmons, and it is still New York month. Very few New York movies more New York than Die Hard with a Vengeance, and that's what we're covering next.
John McClane, NYPD.
On a good day, he's a great cop.
You don't like me because I'm white.
I don't like you because you're gonna get me killed. On a bad day, he's the best there is. On May 19th, McClane is back.
You got a AAA card?
Bruce Willis, Die Hard, this time with a vengeance. Rated R.
This episode of The Rewatchables is presented to you by Amazon Prime. Prime is more than just fast delivery. It's also where you can dive deep into your favorite movie genres with Prime Video and get what you need fast to fuel your obsession. You also, if you watch a movie on Amazon Prime, you can click down and see the actors in each scene for a lot of the movies, which is great. Snacks for movie night, a new book on film theory. It's all there too on Amazon Prime. Whatever it is, Prime helps you get more out of whatever passions you're into or getting into. Head to Amazon.com/Prime and follow your obsession wherever it goes. I'm just going to read the Wikipedia description of this movie. That like the grok thing that tells you, like the AI spits it out.
Okay.
Detective John McClane, parentheses, Bruce Willis, is now divorced, alcoholic, and jobless after getting fired for his reckless behavior and bad attitude. That's the first sentence. Reckless, divorced, and an alcoholic and no job, injected into my veins.
The quadruple crown.
When has it ever not worked? In real life? It's like, yay, having the birthday party. John McClane's coming over. Don't let him drive. In a movie, he can just defuse a terrorist attack and it's fine.
Yeah, in real life, John's getting drunk at the birthday party, whipping out his 9mm. Like, look at it, boom, boom, boom. But in the movie, it's perfect.
Has John McClane ever come to a birthday party not covered in grease and blood, wearing a tank top?
In real life, John McClane is hanging out with the guy who was killed that led to the Karen Reed trial.
Oh,
he's on the 3rd floor.
Wait a second. It is literally 110 seconds.
We just started.
It's like, oh no, John McClane's here. Oh, he's getting into it with John O'Keefe.
He's texting his buddies being like, make sure you plant the evidence.
How long does it take a body to freeze? Anyway, John McClane in movies, it's fine.
Yeah.
His life really fell apart. Here's my first question. Let's start here before we get into the movie. So John McClane saves the Nakatomi building, prevents an incredible terrorist attack, and then doubles down and saves everybody in the airport in Chicago.
Yeah.
How is this guy not at least Captain Sully at this point?
I mean, what
else did he have to do?
Do you think that this is one of the greatest testaments to the power of the internet to create celebrities out of nothing? I mean, to be fair, this guy would have a documentary made about him in 2000 or whatever.
Certainly.
Yeah.
What is his, in real life, if you do those two things, what do your next 30 years look like? I feel like you have like you're at least, what was that guy, John Walsh, the America's Most Wanted guy? You're at least hosting a show like that, just getting massive paychecks. Do you have a morning talk show?
You probably do. You know, Fox News is starting to bubble at that time. He's probably got a show on there. He's their law enforcement guy. But you have to remember,
he's smoking on Fox News.
Yeah, it's him and Bill O'Reilly. We're bringing in John McClane to tell us. But you have to remember, also, this was the era of, remember, Eddie Murphy left, Axel Foley left Detroit and went and basically solved 2 gigantic capers.
Right.
But he was outcast.
Right.
So maybe they look at John McClane as somebody who went against the grain too much by saving people's lives in Los Angeles. But he shouldn't have been done it. He was out of his jurisdiction.
You saved us too much money and too many lives.
Right.
Isn't this actually, we could really map this out. All of the sequels find our favorite characters in a place in their lives you'd never guess. Like, how is Pete Mitchell not at least Chuck Yeager by Top Gun Maverick? Instead, he's like, I'm fixing old planes. No, you would be probably like, he would be on the cover of a Wheaties box.
Yeah, would have, like Val Kilmer would have happened to him with Iceman, should have at least happened with Maverick.
But see, that is, I guess, why our protagonists are our protagonists.
Because they're complicated.
Right. They're complicated and flawed in a way that keep them in the bubble that we need them to be in to make the movies work.
All right. Counter, Captain Sully, random pilot, lands the plane in the water. That's it. They make a Tom Hanks movie about him. Like, that's one of the things with these movies. Nobody makes a movie about John McClane.
Yeah.
That actually would have been a better Die Hard 3. Is them making the John McClane movie about Die Hard 1, and then there's a terrorist.
I'll take it a step further. Why can't Holly move back from Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Has this guy not been through enough?
That's one of my picky nits. I will say something about Sully, though, is that actually happened in real life. So he actually saved like 200 people.
Yeah.
So John McClane is a fictional character, so
noted.
So Sully's celebrity actually comes from
But this is what happens in real life if somebody does something like that.
Right.
Now it's like
should have
speaking
happened
to
in the Die
John
Hard
McClane's
universe.
at least doing $75,000 speaking gigs all over the world about the 2 times he saved the world.
If this was a contemporary story, what would happen is John McClane would do this. We would all get like, God damn, this is really what we need for America right now. And then somebody would discover his weird Facebook posts from 2021 where he's like, I'm not wearing a fucking mask. You know, like, and we'd be like, no, John McClane's not allowed to even be a security guard.
His N-word tapes with Zeus is one of my best friends.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So after you save Chicago, it turns out there's some frat photo of him in 1978.
Yeah.
That's not good. And then that kind of
dressed as Richard
sends
Pryor.
him
Is that what you're
backwards.
trying to say?
My biggest pet peeve with all these movies we love is that, especially with the sequels, that they just discount how amazing it would be for somebody to have pulled off the feat they did.
Isn't there also a chance that this is the only time that John is competent? Because when we first see John, he can't even get his shit together. But then as soon as the adventure is on, he's like really Jason Bourne in this movie. In this movie, he's obviously the original Die Hard as well. He's one step ahead of them at all time. He's making evaluations. When Zeus John is like, oh, real quick, boom, boom, mix the thing, blow the thing up. He is really...
He's got jokes.
Yeah, the whole night.
But the best part about Bruce Willis is he still gets scared.
Yeah.
The best part about Bruce Willis is like when he's getting out of that police van in the beginning in Harlem, he's like, don't worry, I'll be dead in 4 minutes.
Right.
Like he's like, I'm still like sweating out beer and I need a cigarette and I need aspirin and I know I'm going to die. Like this kind of character needs to have almost nothing to lose to do the things that they do.
Or one of my favorite small parts of the movie is when they get to the park and the bomb's there. And he goes, yeah, there's a bomb there. Why don't you go ahead and grab it? He says to Zeus, why don't you go ahead and grab the bomb? Zeus goes, why would I grab it? And he goes, yo, Simon said you're supposed to be helping out with this. He told you to help me go grab the bomb. It's funny. He doesn't want to grab it. It's funny.
Did you see this in the theater?
Yeah. I saw it in the theater this weekend, actually, but I saw it in the theater when it came out. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my excitement level was a 10 out of 10. And I remember being slightly disappointed by the last like half hour.
Sure. It helps that
being like first hour great, fell apart near the end, still had a good time, not as good as Die Hard. And then I think over the next 30 years, the first 75, 80 minutes is so rewatchable. It just kind of took another life.
I think like literally like up through the school evacuation, it's like one of the best blockbusters ever made.
Yeah.
It's one of the best action movies ever made. One of the best New York movies ever made. One of the best summer movies ever made.
It just checks all the boxes. The first 80 minutes is unassailable. And like so many other great ones, it can't sustain it.
Yeah.
And we'll go into some of the alternate ending and stuff like that. But I love that it just starts. We're just going.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have an explosion within 90 seconds and we're off, and they don't spend a lot of time with McClane. It's just clear he's a complete fuck up and his life is falling apart, and then we're off. Let's go.
Yeah. Premise heavy. Like, this guy is fucking with McClane. We don't know why, but that doesn't matter because McClane is in imminent danger in every single scene. He has to find his way out of it. And the story kind of orients itself around that. I went to see it in the theater, but I remember not being as excited because I was kind of getting off the old action star guys. I think this is after the last action hero.
This is the tail end of that era.
Yeah. And so I remember going to see the movie and being like, oh my God, like that was much, much better than I expected it to be. It had the same kinetic energy of the first film, but you know, Eraser and other movies like that. Maybe Eraser's a year after this, or maybe it's the same
It
year.
is. No, it's True Lies was right before this.
Well, True Lies was fucking
Cliffhanger
amazing.
was right before this. We had like the action guys from the 80s and early 90s had like one last run here through 95. And then 96, it starts to flip. We get Daylight with Stallone. We get Eraser. Van Damme kind of falls apart. Who Arnold's pretty much done after 90. Seagal's
gone.
And then Stallone after Daylight, then he gains the weight for Copland. So it's just, this is kind of the last movie of the
I gotta
era.
say, I was actually where you were probably, like, you know, and then the second Die Hard is done by Rennie Harlan, and it's like, it's really, really good. And if you watch it over and over again, it's awesome.
We did the rewatchables. It's discounted.
But the crucial movie for Die Hard with a Vengeance is Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Because when you find out Sam Jackson's going to be in this movie, and you find out Bruce Willis is going to be in this movie, and then you see the trailer and you watch it and you're like, oh, it's this kind of movie. And it's funny and it's referential and it's like fast paced, but it's like, it feels the most real of all the Die Hards because of the way that people interact.
It's a crucial point. And the Sam Jackson is the crucial part of this movie because he's bouncing around for years and years. Pulp happens. And then within a year, he's in this movie. And that was the appeal for me in 1995, which one of my worst years. Being like, Bruce.
One of your worst years?
Not a lot going on. Bruce,
say more.
Just like, you know.
Tendon bar?
Wait a minute.
Just trying to get shit going.
Who was she?
No, trying to get shit going. This is my last year at the Herald.
Okay.
Trying to think like maybe the sports writing thing's not going to work out. We talked about this in other pods.
The Celtics? Like, what was
Celtics Reggie Lewis is dead. Celtics are a mess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Red Sox are a mess.
Trot and Troy.
This is when Boston became Loserville.
Yeah.
But it was like Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson. This would be fun on a Friday.
Yeah.
Could have hit you hard right there. I let it go. The Boston Loserville thing. I could have hit you.
It was
hard.
bad. The 90s were bad.
Yeah.
Then it turned. Sam Jackson has this run from Pulp where he just is in like 5 movies a year. But some of those movies were Die Hard 3, Time to Kill. Yes, it deserves to die. I hope to burn in hell.
Okay. All right, Bill.
Long Kiss Goodnight.
Juneteenth was yesterday.
Jackie Brown. Star Wars remake.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, he's like an
sequel,
A+ lister.
not a remake, but yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Prequel.
What was it? Yeah.
Keep doing the thing.
Well, it's just that was it. All of a sudden, he was an A+ lister.
Yeah.
And it made perfect sense that he was right next to Bruce Willis in what basically is Lethal Weapon. We got to at least address that this is basically Lethal Weapon, this movie.
This script was acquired to be a Lethal Weapon.
It was supposed to be Lethal Weapon 4. It somehow went and turned around. 20th Century Fox bought it. It became this movie. But you could easily have seen Gibson and Glover in this. I think.
I could, but I'm glad that it's this. And I would put these guys up against those guys.
On Sam Jackson, has anyone taken advantage and rode the kinetic energy into the beginning of a career, not the beginning of a career, into the renaissance of a career like him? He was able to balance taking parts where he was with more established actors like Bruce Willis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really weighty secondary roles with new stars like Matthew McConaughey. properties like Star Wars, he seemingly had a complete vision of how he wanted to start his golden era. And it's really what kind of solidified him for the next like 30 or 40. Like every single movie was something interesting and had some kind of quality.
Yeah, maybe it's because it didn't happen early for him.
Yeah.
So he just like knew when the window opened, I'm jumping through it.
Right.
So, and I know exactly how to do this now.
He's the toughest one for the Rewatchables actor rankings. Because I think this is like his 10th Rewatchables.
Yeah.
But like 6 of them, he's barely in the movie.
Right, like Goodfellas.
Yeah. Like he's in, not only is he in Goodfellas, he's in Coming to America as Hold Up Man.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Do the Right Thing. We did that one. He's in Sea of Love in 1989 as Black Guy.
Yeah.
Like you look at some of his.
That's what he's credited as?
This is his Black Guy. You go through his things. Magic Sticks.
Is that what you credit me as? Is that what I am?
He's like in Magic Sticks. He plays bum. You go like it's just
fucked up.
But anyway,
but seriously though, by the time Pulp Fiction comes, it kind of, and this doesn't happen as much as it used to. At least not for me. By the time Pulp Fiction comes, you go, oh, okay, it's time for him now. But by the time that, because I had
but
seen
it
him,
wasn't probable though. This is like an
I'm not saying
NBA player at age 30 becoming a star.
I'm not saying that it wasn't improbable, but I had seen him. You leave like Jungle Fever. He was in almost everything that Spike had done.
Exorcist 3, he plays Dream Blind Man.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, Jungle Fever.
He's actually quite good in Exorcist 3. It's a brief part.
Yeah.
Dream Blind
but Jungle
Man
Fever is when I think he goes on the radar in 91, where people are like, oh, this guy.
Death by Temptation, one of my favorite horror movies. He's in all of these films.
Juice.
92. One
92.
scene in Juice. Maybe
he's
2.
in Patriots Game in 92.
When's Fresh?
A little bit later. So that's like 95,
later.
94, 95, maybe even 96.
Then in 93, Menace to Society, Jurassic Park, True Romance, Fresh in 94.
94.
And leads to Pulp Fiction. But he's been in like 9 or 10 Rewatchables movies.
I
just
can't remember
not
whether
as the star.
Fresh came out before or after Pulp Fiction, but I remember being blown away by him in Fresh.
Yeah. So it's and you know, everyone knows the story. He had a lot of issues. He had a lot of drug stuff and then cleaned up. And by the 90s, and then all of a sudden I can't even imagine how much money he's made.
Yeah.
He's been in so many movies. He's been in 30 plus years of movies constantly. A lot of big blockbusters. He's always figured out a way to get an Iron Man or a Star Wars in there. Plus he's been the lead and stuff.
He was in like every Marvel movie for 10 years, basically, right?
He was the through line to a lot of stores.
It's a little like how Snoop Dogg just kept going and seems like he's as relevant in 2025. I still feel like Sam Jackson's as relevant now.
Well, he's become more than an actor. He's become a cultural figure.
Total, like Snoop.
Like Snoop.
Same thing. Whereas like you've seen a lot of these actors, I think it's really hard to keep that going for more than 15 years. You know? Like even you watch somebody like Cruise who eventually couldn't keep it going. And then it's just like, I guess I'm just Mission Impossible Top Gun guy and that's it.
Well, the thing that I've always loved about Jackson is that he seems to operate under the idea of like, I want to make movies that I would want to go see. Yeah. And so many actors probably are like, I want to make a movie to win an award, or I want to make a movie because it's specifically going to make me a lot of money. But he just is like, I like shark movies.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in Deep Blue Sea. I like this kind of movie. I like that kind of movie. And he makes them a lot. He's prolific. He doesn't take a lot of time off. And, you know.
And part of it is not shouldering the load of having all of these movies riding on your back.
Yeah.
When that happens, that means a flop or a movie that's not critically well received doesn't ding you as much as it does somebody else. So you get to move on.
That's a good point. His losses just kind of come and go.
Yeah, you get to do cool stuff.
Yeah.
And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because they're not these, it's not like, oh my God, I didn't like Days of Thunder. Is Tom Cruise over? You know.
The big thing with him, I think he had a little more trouble carrying a movie. But if he was part of the movie, almost like a basketball player, like if I can just be on the right team, I'm awesome. And he's figured out a way, like he can be like kind of the cool, collected brain Sam Jackson character, or he could be like the bombastic character, or the character like Zeus, which I probably think is a top 3, top 4 Sam Jackson character. Like for
Jules,
for pure, like Jules is number 1.
Jules is number 1.
I really enjoyed Deep Blue Sea, Sam Jackson. We still haven't done that on Rewatchables, but I think he's great in that movie.
I'd probably say Ordell from Jackie Brown is up there.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Fresh.
Fresh is up there. Just I love Fresh came out around the same time that Searching for Bobby Fischer came out, so I was going through a chess thing.
Yeah,
and to see the two different was really cool. I'm trying to think who else. So Ordell is definitely up there. Ordell, for me, Jules is the number one, but Ordell is very close to Jules. I love that character. I actually love that movie. Way up there. I'm trying to think of what else. Nick Fury for me.
There's an amazing Sliding Doors that we covered when Tarantino was on. What was that? The King of New York.
It was the King of New York. Yeah.
With Sam Jackson and Lawrence Fishburne. Where
this is actually like for all the Sliding Doors that we
it's the best
around,
one.
This is the Sliding Doors.
And I didn't know it when he told the story. Lawrence Fishburne, he's trying to get him for Pulp Fiction. Wrote the role for him. Please do it. Please do it. Please do it. And Fishburne's agents go,
he wants leads.
It's a supporting part.
He wants leads.
It's a smaller part. You have to be a lead. So he turns it down.
Which, by the way, those people are fucking morons. There's no lead in fucking Pulp Fiction. You could argue that Travolta's the lead, but there's no lead in the movie. The movie...
It's an ensemble movie.
It's an ensemble movie that has a weird circular narrative.
They had a plan for him.
All right.
They just were like, you can't be in ensembles anymore. You have to be a lead in the movie. So I think he did Deep Cover with Ellen Barkin instead.
Which is also
That's
awesome.
a great movie.
So Sam gets Jules. Now Fishburne is negotiating for Die Hard 3. And they want him. And they basically agreed that he's going to do it. And he wants a lot of money. And they're arguing. They're going back and forth. They can't agree on the money.
Well,
the producer, Andrew Vajna.
Yeah.
Unfortunate name.
Oh, Vajna.
Andrew Vajna.
Yeah.
He goes to Cannes because Bruce Willis is about to make Die Hard 3 with them. And he goes to Cannes to support Pulp Fiction. Sees Sam Jackson in Pulp Fiction.
He's like, what am I doing with Lawrence Fishburne?
And he's like, fuck Lawrence Fishburne. Locks down Sam. Now Fishburne's out.
Yeah.
So he loses Pulp Fiction and Die Hard 3. Sam flips spots with him and becomes Sam Jackson.
And this is the biggest movie of 95, right?
Yeah, if you throw in the global stuff.
Yeah.
And then Fishburne sues, and they actually had to pay Fishburne $750K because they had a verbal agreement.
I saw that when I was doing some research, which that is actually pretty awesome. And then they also had to option a script that he wrote.
But he ends up in The Matrix, so it all, I guess, belatedly works out. But does Sam Jackson happen the same way?
But that whole point, he's in The Matrix and it's cool, but he's basically like this white man is Jesus for the entire Pulp Fiction.
Right. By the way,
Matrix.
that's 99.
Yeah, that's 4 years later.
And there was between 95 and 99, I mean, Lawrence was working, but there's like Fled and there's other movies like that. You could argue that he was a tad cold. He wasn't cold. He's Lawrence fucking Fishburne, but you could argue that he was a tad cold until Morpheus kind of gets him back on the right track or whatever. You could argue.
The only other example in history of this Sam Jackson, Lawrence Fishburne alternate universe flip flop is Dominique Wilkins and James Worthy in the 1982 first pick of the draft, where the Lakers take Worthy over Dominique Wilkins. And if they take Dominique Wilkins and he's with Magic Johnson on the Showtime Lakers doing all the stuff Dominique Wilkins would do anyway and all the above the rim stuff, he becomes the biggest star in the league. And instead he goes to Atlanta, has a great career as a Hall of Famer, some good battles.
So like the Hawks are deep cover.
But he could have been on the Magic,
on
the Lakers with Magic, winning titles, posters, shoes, most famous person in the league. And it didn't happen.
Hoodlum was in 97, by the way.
I like Hoodlum.
I lost Van with my Dominique Wilkins thing. He just wasn't interested.
That was interesting. It was like
second Bruce Willis
That's
peak.
a Bill thing, though.
Second Bruce Willis peak.
This is
You just were a neat guy.
I like him. I like Neek.
Yeah, no, we just found out. Bruce Willis, 2 Die Hard movies, makes a couple stinkers. Hey, what's going on with them? Let's do Die Hard 3. Rips off Pulp Fiction, Die Hard 3, 12 Monkeys, Armageddon, Fifth Element, The Siege, Sixth Sense, and whole 9 yards over the next 7 years. It's a great job by him. And he's married to Demi Moore. Great job by him.
I just want to throw one idea out here at you guys. So one thing that's worth noting for everybody, for the listeners, is that like when they make this movie, Die Hard has become a genre unto itself.
Right, Die Hard has created the
Die Hard
so
on
trapped in a
Die
blank.
Hard
Yeah.
in a Die
I'll talk
Hard
more
on
about
it.
this later, but I
Yeah.
just also want to. One of the things that really hit me when I was looking at like when this movie came out in '90s action movie context is that these guys not only had to top Die Hard 2 and Die Hard, but they had to top Under Siege and Speed and everything else that was like around it, right? Like,
Yeah, what were the other ones? Under Siege,
Under
Speed.
Siege, Speed.
I mean, Speed was the most recent one. That was 94.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's like the Die,
Die Hard in a blank
Yeah.
became one of the most influential.
And Speed is
premises.
the Die Hard cinematographer, goes off and makes his own kind of movie, and it's crazy how good it is. But like that they were able to cobble together a script that had been written for other purposes, rejigger it so that it's in the Die Hard world, and then figure out that the one thing that these movies hadn't had before is a sidekick or a partner for McClane that was on his level. Like Reginald Val Johnson's good, people are good in these movies, but like he's never had like a running mate through the entire movie.
But they also moved him around too in this movie, which they
Yes.
hadn't done in the first.
Yes.
In the first two, he's just trapped in a spot.
yeah,
Well, that changes the dynamic. Like Reginald Val Johnson was a guy in
he's
the
on the
chair
radio. Yeah,
because he was stuck inside of Nakatomi Towers. This one, New York, is a character in the film.
yeah,
Like there's so
Very
much
much so.
about this. Like when I was watching it, I had never been to New York before, but they're talking to me as if I had been. Oh my God,
Yeah.
New York traffic is a part of it. The parks are a part
if
of
you
it.
call like now, like it'll be a different hospital that the ambulance goes to, so we need to wait till we get below 14th Street or like all that. Like
How did you feel living in New York City with the New York City stuff in this movie? Because you
I
spent
didn't
a
move
few
to New
years
York
there.
until 5 years later.
No, but you saw the city. You used all the parts of it. So when you watch this movie now,
It's incredible. I mean, the grid system that they adopt, there's like funny, like how the fuck did you guys get up here or down there that fast? But like the fact that essentially the movie goes south, the entire chase down the island
yeah,
is so ingenious because you can kind of track them like Harlem, 72nd Street.
yeah.
Now they're at Wall Street. Now they got to go back up to Tompkins
Yeah.
Square Park. Like it's actually very, very, like you can visualize it really easily.
What does Wall Street not have? Schools.
Yeah.
What do they have a ton of? Banks. That was the first time I ever had that information. I didn't know what they had. I didn't know. There might have been a
I
Wall
gotta
Street
say, I didn't know Wall
Elementary.
Street didn't have schools.
Yeah,
either.
there could have been a Wall Street Elementary for all I know. I have no clue what's going on. But like all of that stuff is like part of the script. And part
Pretty
of the
sure
charm
you
of the
can't
movie.
get to Yankee Stadium that fast. I mean, there's a lot of nitpicks for this.
To get
movie,
all
I don't
the
know if you can
fucking
walk.
Bronx?
We can get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna head down to Yankee Stadium. I'll see you guys in a second.
Yeah.
Not sure that's how it goes. John McTiernan. What a run for him, man.
Jesus Christ.
From 87 to 99, he does Predator, Die Hard, Hunt for Red October. I've heard that's good. Is that a good one?
Yeah.
Who's in that?
Sean Connery.
Alec Baldwin.
Oh, okay. Medicine Man. Don't really remember that one. Last Action
Medicine
Hero.
Man. That's what Sean Connery, where they're down in like South America.
With Madeline Stowe.
He's got like the cure
I
to
don't remember that
cancer,
one.
and or something like that. That was actually like that was a good movie.
Only saw it once.
Okay, cool.
Last Action Hero, Die Hard with a Vengeance, and then an Amanda Dobbins favorite, The Thomas Crown Affair,
Mhm.
1999.
I like that movie too.
And then The Wheels Come Off. He does Rollerball remake,
That
And-
sucks.
and it sucks so bad. And that's it for John McTiernan.
Well, he also gets caught up in the Anthony Pellicano stuff, right? The
I don't
wiretapping
remember
stuff?
that.
Yeah.
Is that true?
He was basically in the he went to jail, I think. Yeah. For all the wiretapping stuff.
I know about the story, but I didn't know that it hit
Yeah.
him so hard. Yeah.
Written by Jonathan Hensley.
Yeah.
Who we're going to talk about later in a different category. $90 million budget, made $366 million. Seventh biggest movie of 1995. A great movie year.
So if you look at the top 10 films from that year,
Yeah.
the fact that Die Hard with a Vengeance is the #1 global moneymaker
Yeah.
of that year is amazing. With some of the sequel stuff, some of the movies that it made more money than, when I looked them up,
Yeah.
was it incredibly impressive that film was able to outgross some of these movies.
Like Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. Like Batman
Which one
Forever.
was that, Val Kilmer?
That's Val Kilmer. Yeah, that's the first Joel Schumacher one. The Toy Story. Apollo 13. GoldenEye. It's a Bond movie.
Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura.
Crimson Tide. This might be the most Chris Ryan year ever.
This is so
7.
good. 7.
The fact that
Get Shorty.
the fact
Dangerous
that
Minds.
7 could make $327 million worldwide. If they make 7 today, that's going on Netflix.
Bad Boys, Species, Clueless.
What are we doing? Why can't we have years like this anymore?
$327 million
You
for
go
7.
after the top 15, and we're looking at Outbreak, Bad Boys, Species, Clueless, The Net, The American President. Fucking A. Disclosure, Higher Learning.
Honestly, I give Under Siege 2
Makes me
Dark
sad.
Territory a spin every once in a
I
while.
like it. Morse Chestnut.
Under Siege 2?
Yeah.
It's
On
a
a
fucking
train.
classic.
I'm just saying.
Under Siege, Die Hard on a Train.
Money Train, a movie that I feel like if it comes out in other years, maybe does better, but there's so many good movies. You don't love it?
I like Money Train.
Well, I like it for 2
Tommy
reasons.
Boy, Heat, a little movie called Heat.
Casino.
Come on.
Money Train, getting the band back together from White Man Can't Jump, and then that
J-Lo.
is J-Lo. That's the
That's
Yeah.
her arrival.
that's the J-Lo 35-point game. Like, oh my God, this guy off the bench could score.
That's the 48-point LeBron Detroit game.
You like that? I tried to throw it back to do some NBA stuff.
J-Lo scored 25 points in a row against the Pistons. Roger Ebert, our guy, 3 stars. Fair.
I
I
feel
think
like
3 stars
feel
is
like
fair.
if we're giving stars to Raj's reviews, I give this a 2-star review. I just feel like he took a couple miles per hour off the fastball. Maybe it was hot. in
Didn't really
Chicago.
check a lot of the Raj boxes.
Yeah.
He did say Die Hard with a Vengeance is basically a wind-up action toy, cleverly made, delivered with high energy. It delivers what it just advertises with a vengeance. But if the plot's just going to go sideways in the last 40% of a movie, Raj is not going to sign off.
Yeah.
That's not going to
I
get
don't know
more than
about
3 stars.
40%.
Do you guys still feel that way? Like when you watch the movie now, do you still
For
feel
the
like
moment,
it loses itself?
I don't know why we go to Yankee Stadium, and then from every moment on feels like they were just trying to figure out how to end the movie.
Yeah. I was going to talk about this.
I still
at
enjoy
another
it.
Point.
I mean, we have a lot of nitpicks. We'll save them.
Okay.
There's some nitpicks. We'll take a quick break and we'll do the categories. This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. Ever finish a movie and the next thing you know, you're totally obsessed? That's happened to me. Like I'm talking about ordering a book about 70s film lighting. Have you done that, Sierra?
I have, yeah.
Or buying the soundtrack on vinyl? Kind of obsessed. Whatever it is, Prime helps you get more out of whatever passions you're into or getting into. Head to Amazon.com/Prime and follow your obsession wherever it goes. Most rewatchable scene.
This is one of the fun movies where I think every scene is one in my list.
You just wrote down all the
up
scenes.
until the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have starting opening scene right into Simon Says, which also gets the Kid Cudi Pursuit of Happiness Award Best Needle Drop for
Somewhere in the City.
Hot Time Somewhere in the City. And just an awesome swerve where you're like, oh, this would be nice. Just shots in New York and the song. And then all of a sudden Bonwit Tower's exploding.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck? We've started?
Yeah.
And then Simon, we only hear the Jeremy Irons voice. Should have mentioned Jeremy Irons in the first segment.
Should have, yeah.
Kind of that, like, I'm not saying was DDL, but was for
was
that era was
He was Oscar
had
bait.
the respect. Yeah.
Mhm.
It was like, it was meaningful that he was in this movie. He was one of the best actors in the world.
Yeah, and we were talking about Laurence Olivier last time on Marathon Man, and the British actor coming in to play the villain in an American blockbuster that would like started with Marathon Man. This is a great example of that.
Yeah. And if you're going to do Hans Gruber's brother as a character, it's Alan Rickman, the best villain ever in an action movie, probably. You're going to have to bring in a real actor.
Yeah.
I do feel like that these guys, when I see Jeremy Irons, I feel like he just went, you know what? I just want to be in a fucking movie in a tank top. I can fucking be
And
the,
people
I'm going to
on-
work out.
I
Yeah.
want to,
Yeah.
I can be the fucking heavy. I can be physical. I can be cool. I can be sexy. And when you see him in this movie, he's playing with different accents. He's taking it serious.
I can
though.
have violent sex
I
with
can
a
have
chick with
violent
a phone
sex.
with a throat scar.
With
Yeah.
she's got a sickle. You know, I could throw her on the desk.
It's interesting. So he wins the Oscar in 1990, right? For Reversal of Fortune. Klaus von Bülow.
Mhm.
Not a great hang, Klaus.
Killed his wife.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, he got away with it. I guess.
Probably.
Yeah.
But you look at his IMDb and it's just all over the place. Like Dead Ringers was a really interesting movie.
Yep.
But for the most part was not a commercial actor. Like he was in Damage and Butterfly. He played the Lion King. He played Scar's voice.
Mhm.
But for the most part was kind of over here and then just kind of flies into.
But this is what they
an
did so
iconic
well in the
movie.
90s, where they would just be like, Malkovich, now you're a supervillain
Yeah.
in Con Air. You're the best. You know what I mean? Like Ed Harris, come play in The Rock.
Yeah.
You know?
With that said, I don't think DDL at any point in his career does this movie.
Maybe
Then
to
that's
his
maybe the
maybe to
difference.
his detriment.
Yeah.
How about
But that's the thing. It would have been amazing if DDL was in a version of Die Hard 3.
Hey, Daniel Day-Lewis, you think you're too good for this?
Now, did you guys hear? It's funny that you bring this up. Did you
First of all,
guys-
DDL learns fluent German to play this part.
he
Oh,
goes
yeah.
so fucking deep. He might scar his own face.
Yeah.
No, he learns how to drive the dump trucks himself.
Yeah.
He's going all in.
Now, did you guys
He
hear?
learns how to make gold.
Gets flooded in an aqueduct just
Yeah.
to know what he's doing. Yeah.
Marvel wants DDL
For what?
maybe to play Doom after.
Everyone has a price.
Yeah. Well, he's working with his son, so he is out of retirement. He's going to be in his son's movie.
Robert Day-Lewis. Johnny Day-Lewis. What's his son's name?
I think it's Sam, actually.
Sam
Day-Lewis.
I
Day-Lewis.
can't remember, though.
All right.
But
So-
he is back-ish. I just don't know if he's going to do like a PTA movie, and I really, really hope he doesn't do Doctor Doom.
There's no fucking chance that Marvel can get him.
Are you a
However,
Phantom Thread guy?
Phantom Thread. Yeah, love Phantom Thread.
Yeah.
I thought you said, are you a fan of? Threat
Sean and
guy?
I are going to
Like,
do
who's
that on
Threat guy?
Rewatchables at some point.
You should.
I saw it twice in the theater. I thought it was just like
Mesmerizing. Yeah.
mesmerizing how good he was in that movie.
The only thing I'd say about him is on the DDL before we leave is his reputation as being the best actor in the world is so cemented and ironclad
Yeah.
that he might care enough not to fuck with it to ever give us a Simon Gruber or something where we just like watch him go wacky and
It's
cool.
really the history of all these guys is at some point they come back as they get older and like, fuck it. And
Yeah.
Like Olivier was like that. All of a sudden, we talked about that
Yeah.
in Marathon Man. He's just grabbing gigs.
I mean,
It's like
Hopkins,
TV
did it.
movie,
Hopkins is
sure.
fucking Odin.
Right.
He's Odin.
Yeah, but Hopkins would like show up for a FedEx commercial at a certain
yeah,
point.
he would. Yeah.
Next rewatchable scene. I have a lot on the Simon Says gimmick, but it's for a later topic. John McClane puts the sign on and we meet Sam Jackson.
What did the sign say?
I don't know. You tell us, Van. By the way, this was really controversial in
Yes.
1995.
Yeah,
this
still
was a big,
honestly so I saw this in
It's
a
kinda
theater on
shocking now.
Sunday, and there were a bunch of people who hadn't seen it before, and it was a lot of younger
gasp?
people, and there was a little bit of like,
yeah, like when we saw the verdict and Newman hit
slaps
Charlotte
Rampling, yeah,
rampling, and the crowd like gasped,
Yeah.
like they couldn't believe it. So it was like that.
kind of.
Yeah.
So it's one of those interesting scenes to me because
This is just Van's wheelhouse.
It is,
just,
because it's
he just
actually
can't
not-
wait. He's been waiting.
it's not the most racist thing that happens in the scene. And I love it when that happens.
Should we guess what the most racist thing is?
What's the most racist thing in the scene?
I feel like somehow we both lose if we don't guess the right thing. I might do the DDL and just abstain.
Oh yeah, you're gonna retire from
Just
podcasting on me.
just retiring.
So the most racist thing in the scene is, so he's standing there with that, and that, by the way, it was.
Is it the depiction of the guys on the stoop?
Yes. So the guys on
Just
the
10
stoop,
guys hanging out on a stoop.
but no, they're
Shirtless,
throwing
yeah.
shirtless and throwing a basketball around. Go look at it. It's 10 guys on a stoop, crowded
With
together.
no hoop.
No hoop. They just tossing the basketball around. They got it. They got guns. They got liquor.
Knives.
They got they got knives. They got
Yeah.
no shirts, and they have a basketball.
and it's like 8:30 in the morning.
So I heard this as a
Right,
picnic.
and
Yeah.
they have a basketball.
The kids are going to school. So school in New York City starts, I would say, either 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Well, let's say 8. So multiple picnics here. Why are all these guys just outside at 7:45 in the morning? Why is Sam Jackson opening his pawn shop for the early 8 o'clock rush?
Well, I think it's more of an electronics store. Yeah.
He's
I
an
don't- I
Is that
electrician.
what it is?
Yeah, I
He's an
think they're
electrician.
asking if he would take that boombox, but I don't think he's a pawn shop. I think he's an
Oh, I
electrician.
couldn't tell what the store was.
Yeah, he's an electrician. He's fixing.
So it's like
shit.
an electrician shop.
Yeah, he's like he'll fix your TV. He'll
Just
fix your
opening
stereo.
at 7:50 in the morning.
Look, you
for
got
no
early
reason.
bird gets the worm.
And just that, like it's a little too alive for 7:45 in the morning, I would say.
Yeah.
I guess I agree. Yeah.
I think that scene is, I'll be honest with you though. I think that scene is hysterical. Like, even when Sam Jackson looks and goes, call the police, tell them somebody's about to get killed. He walks out there and they're talking. I remember being in the theater and all of a sudden you hear, what the fuck?
Right.
No, when he has to walk by the old lady and he's just like,
Yeah.
that scene is funny to me, man.
I like, who do we not want to help us? He says to the two kids, and they're like, white people. I also think they get in the cab and he,
keeps on him.
John
Jesus.
keeps calling him Jesus. He's like, stop calling me Jesus.
Do I look Puerto Rican to you?
All of it's great. The mean mugs on the guys. I'm just gonna assume he never makes it in the cab in real life.
He doesn't get there?
Yeah, because they hit him over the head with a bottle. There's 10 of them. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be tough.
I think
But-
it'd be tough.
I will say that when Zeus's character gives the rationale for why,
He had to save him.
yeah, number one, he knows he's a police officer. He identifies himself as a police officer. He says, hey, I'm a cop. Some guy made me do this. And the moment that he says, I'm a cop, Zeus changes. He probably would have protected him anyway, but he's like, I definitely can't let the police get killed up here because if they get killed, then
Yeah, it's a free for all.
right.
Next one. Simon negotiates with John, and John gets his badge back.
My chair with me in it.
Why are you trying to kill me?
You need to kill me.
That's really
So
great.
ableist.
I know. That's also a great introduction to all the other cops.
Well, that's my favorite part is when Walter, the guy with the mustache, like his boss, he's like, he tells Simon, he's negotiating, believe me, the jerk isn't worth it. He stepped on so many toes in this department. By the time next month, he's going to be a security guard. His own wife wants nothing to do with him, and he's 2 steps shy of becoming a full-blown alcoholic. Kind of crossed the line, I felt
You
like.
should do that to
Maybe a
us,
little too much
Like
information.
on pods, you should be like, believe me, Chris Ryan's all used up.
I was going to do this later in the pod, but
He
if,
doesn't take my real estate advice.
Hey, you don't want to work, Van. He's nothing but a porn addict. Like,
no, with Chris, like I was thinking, like if Chris gets divorced and becomes an alcoholic, but we're still doing pods with him. Jesus. And it's like, I don't know if CR, I don't know if we can count on him. Tell him 11 o'clock call time. And Chris
This is
just
actually
shows
an
up. Like,
indictment of you.
Can I get an aspirin?
Yeah. It's an indictment of you that if I was in that condition, you'd be like, fuck him. We're still wheeling him out there.
Yeah, 100%.
Chris, like on a John
Some good
McClane
movies we haven't done.
bender out here in the tank top, hair fucked up, popping aspirin the whole
It would
nine.
be amazing if
would.
CR just had an alcoholic binge just for like a year. It's just the wheels came off. CR showed up. He's wearing like a Ben Simmons torn Sixers jersey, just doing pods. I didn't watch that yet, but I'm here anyway. Saw it once. Could be a good gimmick for next year.
Phantom Thread. Did I read that wrong?
I really like that when he gets the badge back. Next one.
What? Last one thing. Have we gotten away from the trope of you losing your badge, but your superior
It keeps it in his desk drawer.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
So they
other
just-
badges.
It's so good.
Hey, you're back. And then the badge hits his hand like fucking Thor's hammer. He's like, fuck, I'm the man again. I'm a cop. You telling me I could be a cop again? Well,
So-
being a cop was like the most important thing.
Absolutely. Like the gun and the badge trope is just one of the great things.
Give me your gun and badge.
Yeah.
The hungover cop thing too. So where was he drinking?
I think
What
like
was he up to the night before?
like the gentleman on the stoop in Harlem, he might have just been out all night. You know what I mean? New York City, you can really push the limits.
He really tested Holly over the years.
Is Walter in love with Holly? How many times is Walter going to bring up this man's ex-wife? It would be
You
so
think he was
weird.
getting it in with Holly?
Maybe, or he's in
She
love
lived
with
in
Holly.
LA.
How many times, if I came in here and every time I did something wrong, you went, Van Kalika deserves better, I'd be like, yo, what the fuck you
Yeah,
doing? Get
why
out my
you keep
business.
bringing her up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's between you and I.
Can I just two more things from The Office when that happens? I
Yeah.
love Charlie coming in and setting off a minor bomb. And Colleen Camp being like, Charlie, you're gonna be wearing that chair up your ass. And just Graham Greene. And it's really funny that like this was a run in movies where I still feel like we were making fun of the act of getting therapy. So the therapist guy, everybody's just like, yeah, fuck you, man.
Yeah. Oh, who are you? Yeah, you're a fucking shrink.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
I do miss that era.
Yeah.
I also, we've talked about this before, but the 70s, 80s, just the police stations
Yeah.
just moved in a way more fun way. And they just seem to capture
It's
it
all
way better
It's
than
all
now.
printed out papers, hard paper, and landlines.
Just people busting each other's
Yeah.
balls.
Busting each
Nobody
other's
likes each
chops.
other.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, you going to get coffee?
The fucking pricks from IA are here again. You know, the whole fucking thing.
Right.
the fucking pricks.
Like, I mean, the whole thing is like in every cop movie, it's the same shit.
48
shit.
Hours, I still think, is the best with that.
All of those guys are getting paid like $32,000 a year. You know,
Mhm.
they're just skimming coke out of the evidence room.
All right. So I'm going to go most rewatchable for this next part, which I think it's multiple scenes, but I feel like it all ties
No, you're
together.
right.
The phone game with the 7 wives.
Yes.
Into the cab ride, driving through Central Park, cutting through New York City, and then him jumping on the train and the train bomb going up. Whatever. I just feel like that's one scene.
Wall Street is south. Man, stop yelling at me. I got a bad headache. And the best way south is not 9th Avenue. It's through the park. Oh, dear. I told you the park drive is always jammed. I didn't say park drive. I said through the park.
I
Is that
think
fair?
it's like 15 minutes. It's 15 of the most electrifying minutes in
It's
action
just
movie
so
history.
good.
And one of
Every
my favorite
piece of
parts
it is
about
good.
it is that the moment when McClane goes into the park is the moment that Zeus realizes he's in an action movie,
Yeah.
where he's just like, oh shit. And this is like that kind of 90s meta, like a character is almost aware of the absurdity of their thing. Like most action movies now are like, no, it's the accountant, and it's normal that Ben Affleck will kill 35 guys
Yeah.
and nobody ever comments on it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But in this movie, Zeus is us and is like, what the fuck are you doing? We're driving through. Are you aiming at these people? You
Yeah.
know?
And
He said he did say he was aiming at the mime.
I'm aiming-
and
That was a great line.
He's in it with a crazy white boy. He's with a crazy white boy, taking them on a crazy white mission, crazy white problems. He keeps coming back to that. He never loses his worldview. I honestly think that there's a couple of really unintended funny scenes, or maybe intended funny scenes. But the scene where Simon's fucking with them at the phone booth and they dive, I don't know why that is
So
so,
funny, dude.
hysterical to me. No, the answer
Yeah.
is one. He has a bomb. And then they jump on the, it's hysterical.
To your
me.
point, also, this has got Grace Papaya in the background of the 72nd Street payphone. Then they go and they do like traffic talk. Oh, you want to take 9th Avenue to get south? No, the fastest way south is through the park.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
Through the park.
then there's the ambulance blocking scheme, which is based entirely on him knowing what hospital responds to which call at a certain point in the city. And it's just like the whole thing. And then it's the whole getting into the subway part. It's so New York that you are like so grounded in like this experience. You're so like, I'm right here in this city.
And then
And it
it's
really
another-
feels like they're filming in New York, which they
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Like I really genuinely feel like people were in danger.
I was like, and we were talking about it when we saw it on Sunday. I was like, this movie would cost $1.5 billion because you have to shut down
Yeah.
so many parts of New York.
Then there's another New York thing that they're doing, and I see my New York friends do all the time, is they're arguing over who's more New York. Like they're arguing
Yeah.
over who has the right way to get to this
Yeah.
place, who knows this, who knows that. Nah, that's not what you do. You go there, nah, you don't know. This is what you do, blah, 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 blah. And like that's my introduction to all of that type of shit.
it was a great spot for a name drop there, but you avoided it.
I'm trying
But
to.
you're New York friends, and then you could have just listed like 3 people to impress us, but
True,
you didn't do
I
it
didn't
because
do
you're
it.
not that kind of guy.
Not anymore. Changed.
The Central Park piece. There's a couple, how the fuck did they do that moments in this movie? Even the Bonwit Tower blowing up. I was rewinding and watching. I'm like, did they actually blow up Bonwit Tower? Like, how'd they do this? Because I don't feel like CGI was good enough in 95. I don't know how they did it.
Also, like so many funny visual sight gags, like when Walsh, the cop, is following them and he loses them as they come out of the park, and he just sees like fucking cafe tables exploding. And he's just like, I lost him.
We always talk about the concept of the rewatchables as if it's on and you're like, oh my God, I'm getting sucked in. And sometimes there are movies you can come in halfway through and be like, yes, I'm going to fucking ride right now. Or like Boogie Nights, like when Dirk shows up at Jack Horner's house, like, oh, this is going to be an amazing 40 minutes. Scene. Yeah, or the roller, whatever you want.
This is the part.
You want to catch the opening. It's like Die Hard 3 starting right now.
Yeah, can we push that reservation to 7:30?
Just give me like an hour here.
But if they are in that cab, I'm multi-viewing it, whatever sports I'm watching. You just want to see finishing the fucking movie, bro.
This also has Sam with the phone ringing. One of my favorite gimmicks, the nervous cop. The phone ringing, and he's like, if you want to shoot me right now.
But first the yuppie who's like, I was here first, bro.
Yeah. Bro. Yuppies take a beating in this movie. Yeah. There's like multiple bad ones. That whole scene's great. I do feel like the bomb would have caused a lot more damage.
But
I feel like some people are dying.
It's worth mentioning that this is when we were a nation. And we would blow up a subway train for a movie, and it would travel at 45 miles per hour within there, and like the entire film crew was
were actually like running for their lives.
Yeah, and the film crew was like, "I'm really glad no one died when we made
Speed was like that too. Yeah. It was another one where it was like, "Phew, thank God, no casualties for that scene." They would never did. They would just CGI it.
Yeah.
Now. Simon breaks into Fort Knox. A very hot entrance from Chris's girlfriend in this movie. I don't know. Do you want to take it? You want to save it? Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
This really seems like it's Fort Knox. They do a good job of like, I don't know what Fort Knox is actually like, but
it's actually not Fort Knox.
But you know what I mean? Like where all the gold would be. Sure. It's just like, is this what it would be like? Or just all these gold with different countries? And,
yeah.
I mean, there's one scene where they bring out that gigantic drill. You know, that big drill that they're drilling through the thing? When I watched the movie, I'm like, they really had that drill drilling into the shit.
It's a lot of stuff like that. A lot of care. The elevator scene.
I have a breakout here.
What was the lottery number last night?
You mean like I to turn the TikTok camera on thing?
Oh. No, it's not. When I see the elevator scene, you know what I thought? Fucking Captain America Winter Soldier.
Yeah, they stole it.
They stole the scene.
Yeah.
I'm sure
is that
it's
a movie?
Been done. You know what? You got to stop because it makes the Ringerverse. It makes the Ringerverse feel orphaned when you do that.
Captain America Winter Soldier.
Captain America the Winter
Captain
Soldier.
America like Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Who was the Winter Soldier?
Bucky Barnes is the Winter Soldier.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Captain America's best friend, and then he whatever.
So they steal shit from.
There's an iconic elevator scene where Captain America is on the elevator and all these people behind him are actually Hydra agents.
Yeah.
And he realizes that he doesn't know that they're Hydra agents yet, but he realizes that they're trying to capture him. And so he looks around and he goes, before we get started, does anybody want to get off the elevator? And then he proceeds to fuck all of these people up. And that's essentially the same scene. It's the exact same thing that happens to Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah, except John McClane puts a gun in a guy's head and is just like, drop the fucking gun! Right. This is fucking Reservoir Dogs right in this thing.
I slow-moed it to figure out how he did it. And my wife was just in the TV room with me doing on her iPad and just looking over at me like, wow, this is just never going to end.
You're deranged.
You're just like a deranged human being.
Yeah.
But he's got the two people behind him. They edit it really fast, so you almost don't know what's happening. But he takes the gun, he shoots through his coat behind him at the two guys, and somehow nails both of them. Then turns it around, somehow kills the third guy, and then is in the standoff with the fourth guy. But I'm gonna say the degree of difficulty is about an 11.2 out of 9.
Yeah, I don't think John's getting out of there, but it's a great line when Zeus is like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's not my blood."
Yeah, it's not my blood. It's a classic. That elevator scene's great. I like when the guy he calls it a lift.
Yeah, they fuck up.
Tip off.
Calls it a lift. He also says it's raining like dogs and cats. Yeah. So
and then nobody knows the lottery number, which is like the number one.
John's like,
and he's wearing Walsh's badge. He sees Walsh's badge number in the
so
reflection.
All of you are going to die. John, by the way, his policing. He doesn't say, "Hey,
you're under arrest."
NYPD. No, John he notices that you're a bad guy and then he kills you.
I think that scene could have been longer where he could have just done more things to realize those guys weren't real. Like, be like, what's up with Patrick Ewing?
Yeah.
Is he ever going to get over the top?
Tino Martinez got a soft glove, right?
It's like, oh, yeah.
Can you believe that Mattingly is a Yankee?
Just could have kept going for me.
Wade Boggs, I mean.
Couple more quick ones.
Because you used to play for the Red
The
Sox.
little Wade Boggs.
Yeah.
The kid saying, look around, man, all the cops are into something. It's Christmas. You could steal City Hall. It's just a great voila moment. John McClane, good at the voila moments. One of his signature things. I like on the boat just when Irons takes the gun from Sam and just shoots him in the leg.
Yeah.
That's a swagged
that whole
out.
scene's
That's
While
a
he's
swagged out
eating the egg.
Yeah.
He's eating an egg. He is never afraid of him. He realizes guys is not combat tested.
Yeah.
And let me see that real quick. Gotta take the safety off. Where's McClane? That's like cool villain shit.
And then the ending is ridiculous, but I do enjoy Say Hello to Your Brother. What do you got for most rewatchable, CR?
I have the same sequence that you're
Okay.
talking about. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go Cab Ride Downtown.
Van?
Exactly same thing.
Okay. What's the most 1995 thing about this movie, CR?
I got payphones,
Oh,
I had those as well. I had crucial scenes with payphones.
crucial payphones, and crucial taxi cabs, World Trade Centers there, and Rodney King references.
Rodney King references. There were only 42 presidents.
Yeah.
So
That's a good one.
So that's a big part of it.
I'm going to add that one.
And the look of New York City. This is one of the last movies, because when you get movies filmed or set in New York now, it's a, I guess, post-Giuliani New York cleanup. So you get a different version of New York almost. I know this is New York month, but New York existing as the Warriors New York, or as the New York that, was in all of these different movies, kind of gone now.
Happier, sunnier New York.
Happier, sunnier. And it's
No
kind
internet yet. No bikes.
It's more corporatized now
More
instead of like
corporatized.
No
the
electric
localized
bikes.
businesses. Yeah.
No pot.
If you do this, if you
Pot smoke everywhere now.
All right, Pam Bondi, relax.
Maybe clean up the pot a little bit.
in New York, when I go there now, you drive by places, there are activations everywhere. There's all kinds of stuff. You can tell that the city has kind of a different ethos to it now, but this is one of the movies where you could still have that New York as a character in the film.
I have the lady saying, and I'm going to marry Donald Trump.
Yeah. And a Hillary Clinton reference in this one too.
Yeah.
I have the Twin Towers that you mentioned,
Mhm.
but I blew it out. Bruce and Sam jogging, both with hair,
Yeah.
with the Twin Towers behind them.
Yeah.
Very 1995.
Yeah.
And then Bonwit Teller.
Yeah. Department stores.
Jack, you have any idea what Bonwit Teller is?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I don't know
What
either.
was the big Boston department store?
I mean, they were all the same
We had
ones. everyone-
Wanamaker's.
JC
Gimbals.
Penney's, all those. I mean, the big one in Connecticut was Caldors
Okay.
or Caldors.
Caldors.
Yeah.
We had Gotchaw's.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to Caldors.
Gotchaw's.
Yeah, Gotchaw's is it lasted through the 80s into the 90s, but I think like Macy's bought them or something. Like Gotchaw's was like a Louisiana
Department store
chain. Yeah, Gotchaw's.
Bloomingdale's was big in Boston, but I think
Bloomingdale's is all around.
it's all around.
Yeah.
It is funny when you only live in one place for a while and then you go to other places. Like, they have a Bloomingdale's here? Like, it's just like completely shocking.
Did you guys have Dillard's?
No.
No.
We had Dillard's in the South.
Yeah.
Love Dillard's.
We don't always do this category, but did this movie need a better title? Can we talk about the Die Hard with a Vengeance thing for a second?
Yeah. I mean, is there a New York thing that we could have? I mean, if you just called it Die Hard in New York, that's pretty good.
How about Die Hard 3 Simon Says?
Well,
Is that just a better title or am I crazy?
here's the thing: is
By the way, why can't this be Die Hard 3 : something? Why did we get away from that?
Well,
I call it Die Hard 3.
honestly, when I said that I wasn't super jazzed about going to see it, I went to see it. I was seeing movies so much at that time. It was kind of because of the title a little bit. It's like, what is?
I mean,
what
there is
that
vengeance.
title?
It's Simon's Vengeance.
It is Simon's Vengeance.
Die
It
Hard
is.
3 Simon Says. I don't know. It's just better. Or just call it Die Hard 3.
Die
Well-
Hard 3, the other Gruber.
Second Gruber. We'll take one more break and we'll do What's Age the Best. All right, What's Age the Best? I have a bunch. What do you have, CR?
I gotta say, I have a bunch as well. I fucking love a black guy and a white guy working together. You know what? Sometimes we've been at odds, but Jesus Christ, when it clicks, it clicks.
That is my what's aged the best by far. The first thing you learn about Zeus is we don't need no help from white people. Really, the movie is about a racial reckoning where white people and black people help each other. White people and black people help against
like when they're in
crazy
Tompkins Square Park. He's like, say it. He's like, what? I was
Say it.
going to call you an asshole.
And he's like, I'm like, yo, that's actually the center of the movie. And it's a big against the crazy Europeans. The crazy Europeans are the enemy.
As the OJ trial is happening in real life.
The OJ trial is happening. Yeah. That's what's aged the best. That's the lesson of this movie. McClane always has, well, went away from it, but McClane is with us. He always has a brother that's helping him out.
It's funny. 48 Hours basically starts that. And it just keeps going in that thread. So this movie's both ripping off 48 Hours and ripping off itself because it's a Die Hard movie. But
this movie doesn't, a lot of those other films, they play the racial differences like it's subtext, right? It's jokes, it's whatever. 48 Hours is obviously, but in this one, you have the Zeus character who has a direct way of looking at things. And that's kind of the times were a little fraught. So it's kind of McClane who just wants to get to mission accomplishment and Zeus who has all of these other views on
the
society.
shoot the gun thing is funny where he goes, look, all brothers don't know how to shoot guns, you racist motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah.
It has a lot of moments
it's just
sprinkled like
even
that.
Even when
that just
Zeus at the payphone is like, police business, hang the fuck, get a new fucking phone or whatever. And he's like, don't do that shit. Like you're here like as like my assistant basically, but you're not a cop. And he's like, I'm gonna fucking walk away then. How about that?
Yeah.
You need me more than I need you. Like it's got like power dynamics in a really cool way. Anyway, it's just like I think like every 5 years we gotta.
So
have
Zeus
this.
does. So Zeus says all brothers don't know how to use the gun, and then he does exactly what McClane tells him to do. Right. He does exactly what McClane asks him to do.
What else do you have?
Can I do Katya now?
Save it for the end.
Okay.
What do you have for what's aged the best?
Hangovers.
Yeah, it's one of the great hangover movies.
One of the great hangover movies.
He just needs a couple of aspirin.
Yeah.
A couple of aspirin, but then
his head's really hurting him.
Yeah, hangovers.
Filming this much in New York, we mentioned. I have for what's aged the best. Anytime a character, the phone rings and somebody in the police station answers and the cop doesn't want any part of it and they go, I think you better take this.
Walter!
I think you better take this is always good. I like when evil brothers turn out to be the one wreaking the revenge.
Yep.
Which had mixed results. Another 48 Hours. Gans's brother. Didn't totally work, but
you know what this movie
fun.
does great is they hide Simon like the shark from Jaws. Shows up at minute 50.
Yeah.
And when he shows up and you're like, God damn, Jeremy Irons is blonde and he's fucking killing people. This is crazy.
Then they let him rip for a little while.
Yeah.
Then you get him acting like somebody else. You get the moment where one of my favorite moments in the movie.
When he's Mr. Vanderflug.
Yeah, when he's Mr. Vanderflug. And then at the end of the movie where McClane thinks he's going to die and he just goes, your brother was an asshole.
Yeah.
And it hurts Simon.
Sure.
And you could tell. And so, I don't know what's going with that.
If Fennessy had been murdered at the Braves game.
Jesus Christ.
And then CR becomes the Simon Gruber. He goes to Atlanta for revenge. He goes to a Hawks game. He's trying to blow up a Hawks Hornets game to get revenge for Sean. That's basically, I'm just doing action movie premises.
I get it.
Why are you staring at me like that?
You're a sick motherfucker, bro.
Hungarian army, explosive expert, now working for the Iranians.
Targo.
A quote actually said in this movie.
Yeah.
Hungarian army, explive expert, now working for the
looks
Iranians.
Like he might have gotten
fucking triple crown.
The last draft pick of the Bullets.
Yeah. I really like when they do does the name Gruber mean anything to you? And they do the flashback of Hans falling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it rings a bell.
This is my biggest nitpick, but yes. Yeah.
What?
That reveal.
Oh, you wish...
When the therapist is like, he spoke with a German accent, you'd be like, yeah, I know a German guy.
Oh, you think you would have caught that earlier. Good point. Good point, CR.
Any experience with German people in your past?
Right.
Like, yeah.
Here's another what's aged the best. When we have an action film and a car chase, but somebody's in a cab and then just a random passenger gets in the cab thinking it's entering a cab. 100% success rate.
Mhm.
It's never not worked ever in the history
Also
of
love
movies.
when they steal the Mercedes
Commandeering people's vehicles.
and they're like, "Who's the 42nd president?" And he's like, "Go fuck yourself."
Commandeering vehicles seems like it would be the single most fun thing about being a police officer. Be like, I'm just going
I
to
think
take
it's
your
a
car.
slightly more controversial act now, but yeah.
Yeah.
Alcoholic hero cops who have people say to them, Jesus, you look like shit.
Can't be on this.
Every pod you start with me, you look like shit,
Jesus,
Chris.
CR, you look like shit.
But like out of a place of your concern.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on with you? By the way, that's Bruce Willis's place in the action movie pantheon.
Yeah.
That's his place.
Yeah. The everyman cop who looks like shit but can rise to the occasion
Yes.
because
Right.
stuff's at stake.
I have two storytelling mechanisms that have aged the best.
Yeah.
There is a constant ticking clock in this movie, a series of ticking
Yeah.
clocks, basically, because every task they have to do is you have 15 minutes, you have this. Sometimes they actually keep the action to the amount of time that they have to get
They go
there.
real time.
They go real time. So that plus the changeover in the middle of the movie where they can't use the radios anymore. And everybody is now we're in the dark. We can't call, like we can't, and it's like they have to use the switchboard. I also love the switchboard. She's like, the whole fucking world just called 911.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, the fact this movie gets into like dueling plots because Die Hard is intimate, right?
Yeah.
But not this one. This is not an intimate Die Hard. And obviously the subsequent sequels, which we haven't talked about at all, they're not intimate at all, right? But this one is
Yeah.
Not
For
into
your
it?
Die Hard, it's pretty tough.
yeah, but like this one is
Justin Long as a tech hacker.
no
thanks.
McClane's dummy mission that he's actually on. Then the existential threat of the bombs at the school with the guy trying to defuse the bombs. There's multi-front wars and then the heist going on at the same time. So it's kind of a blueprint to a contemporary action movie where it's just not about the thing.
Yeah.
There's 4 or 5 different things happening.
I think this is a What's Age the Best. You tell me, because everyone does Sam Jackson impersonations, right? Does it come from this movie or Pulp?
Pulp Fiction.
You could argue he's doing more of the Sam Jackson impression of Sam Jackson in this movie than in Pulp.
No, you
Yeah.
couldn't.
I think you could.
It's Pulp. This is like on the level of my Joe Pesci was better in Lethal Weapon 2 than Goodfellas Steak. This is on the same level. It's Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Yeah.
On my way to St. Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. Every wife has 7 sacks. Every sack had 7 cats. Every cat had 7 kittens. Kittens, cats, sacks, and wives. How many were going to St. Ives? John just nails it. There's no way I'm nailing that.
Zeus nails it.
Zeus nails it, I mean.
Yeah.
No way I'm figuring that out.
Just one.
I
You
think
just
if you-
hear it once, there's no way.
It's hard. It's hard.
So Zeus nailing it is a What's Age the Best because I'm just so impressed that
it's
he
cool that
figured
he's
it out.
like, I'm good at puzzles. Like, let me think about this for a
Also,
second.
That's too fucking hard.
Movie is Zeus is kind of the brains of the operation when it comes to that whole thing. It's another little thing that the movie is doing, subverting expectations. But that's a nitpick for me. Is some of these things that they have to do, I just don't have any faith they would have figured them out.
The question
Had
is
that
whether
as
or
well.
not they were supposed to or not.
True.
And then any action movie villain playing Simon Says, sign me up.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Can I talk about Katya now?
Do you have? I thought for sure you would use that as your CR flex category.
Can you just
wanna
let him
just
get
do
his
that
shit
here?
off?
Go ahead, do
He
it.
wants it. He
Do it.
wants it so badly.
Katya is played by the country music singer Sam Phillips.
Yeah.
Her entrance in this film is among the 3 or 4 greatest character entrances of all time. She is
The
wearing
cigarette in her mouth.
popped collar, green army shirt. Her blonde hair is slicked back. She's got sunglasses on and she's got a cigarette dangling from her mouth. And then she cuts a guy to pieces so that she's covered in his own blood. And it's the hottest thing I've ever seen in my life. Save Edie.
Even
Falco
better
and
than Edie
Copland.
Falco Copland. This is really the heyday for you. Those movies are a year apart.
These are the two. This is like Ollie Frazier of blonde smoking. is Edie Falco.
Does
and
she ever
Sam
actually
Phillips.
smoke or she just has the
She's
cigarette
got it
in her
dangling
mouth?
out of her mouth. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think he's dead, my dear.
She's mute.
Yeah.
And the Israelis tried to
It's
kill
funny
her.
that she's a country western singer who just by mere body language and a sneer in her face looks like a German.
Yeah.
I didn't learn this till I started doing research last night. I would have bet anything that she was an Eastern Europe
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that didn't
like
speak
she was
any
like
English at all.
Bulgarian.
No.
Yeah.
She's
Well-
like a critically adored country music
She was
songwriter.
married to fucking the guy.
T-Bone Burnett.
T-Bone Burnett. Like I literally looked that up last night.
I mean, this does lead to did the Mallory Rubin Award for did this movie need a better sex scene?
It would have
Because
been
they
nice
said they
if-
threw that in because McTiernan's like, we're getting an R anyway. Let's get a little.
Also, can I just say,
We could have maybe unleashed
that's
her a
the
little
kind
bit.
of vision we need.
Exactly.
Is
We're
guys
getting
who are
a-
like,
and-
I'm getting an R anyway.
We're getting an R anyway is the greatest
We're
sentence
putting
any
in more
director could say.
headshots,
Yeah.
and there's going to be some fucking.
Yeah.
I love that. But you know what killed that? Remember when we were Craig, who's not here today, but remember when we talked to Craig a little while ago, like last year, 2 years ago, and he was like, this movie had unneeded boobs. Like, why did this movie need boobs? Remember when we were having that conversation?
Yeah, that was
You know why the movie needs boobs, Craig?
generational.
Because this is fucking America. That's why the movie fucking needs boobs.
Yeah,
Okay?
couldn't there have been a bomb in a strip club in this
Yeah,
movie?
Exactly.
Like,
That's why the movie
What's the name?
needs boobs.
Cheetahs? What was the Scores in the 90s?
Oh,
Scores was
in
the
New
famous
York?
one.
Yeah.
Try to act
Scores.
like
I'm
you
trying
don't
to think my wife might be watching. What was the one? 90s? Pandas?
You think Carrie is like,
But yeah, Scores.
Yeah.
Scores, yeah.
We
Still
could
big
have
deal
put a
in New
bomb in Scores over the school.
York. Yeah.
don't give away free IP.
All right, sorry.
Yeah.
What do you have for Big Kahuna Burger Award for best use of food or drink?
Aspirin.
The aspirin, yeah.
Great shot, Gordo Award, most cinematic shot. For me, Bomb Wit Tower exploding was just really good.
Yeah.
What do you have?
That is actually, I was going to say, the opening 3 or 4 shots of the sun coming up in New York City,
Yeah.
and you're just like, I'm now hot.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Chess Rockwell, Brocklanders Award.
Hold on.
best-
I have one for Great Shot Gordo.
Let's hear it.
The fucking guy getting cut in half.
Oh, from the
Oh.
wire.
The wire. And like that is when I realized, oh, fuck it. They said fuck it.
I like when they drag him too. We should put that on One Stage the Best
Yeah.
when they're pulling the 2 different parts
Yeah,
of his
you
body.
get the legs.
There's intestines everywhere, by the way. That's way messier. Chess Rockwell, Brocklanders Award, best character name. Zeus Carver is pretty tough to beat.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
up there.
What do you have for flex category, CR?
Okay, I got 2. One that's pre-existing. It's When Would I Have Died, and it would have been Water Jugs. I still don't understand it. I've read extensive explanations to how they figure it out, and it's
It's
just
weird. My brain just figures this shit out.
I couldn't do it. So you would be able to do Water Jugs,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't have gotten through St. Ives.
He said it so fast, I don't think I could have remembered it. Water Jugs I would have gotten.
But I did make up a new category for my flex here.
Yeah.
It's the
New
Ratso.
category.
Yeah, Ratso Rizzo. I'm walking here. Most New York quote award.
Oh.
Nice.
We did. Why you keep calling me Jesus? Do I look Puerto Rican to you? The Wall Street guy saying, your lights are on. Look, I'll make this very simple. 112 Wall Street, or I'll have your medallion. What? You don't like white people? I like Zeus going, I'm not jumping through hoops for some psycho. That's a white man with white problems. You deal with him when he crosses 110th Street. And then Walter saying, get a hold of Musson in Triborough. Tell him to close the East River bridges north of 59th Street, looking for dump trucks. And Connie goes, dump trucks? And Walter's like, McLean says there's dump trucks headed up the FPR loaded with gold. Connie, Walter, they don't allow dump trucks on the FDR. So I like that one the most. Yeah.
That's a good category.
Yeah.
I wish we had that three episodes ago. All right. Butch's Girlfriend Award for weak link of the film.
So this movie has the Apocalypse Now Flight of the Valkyries problem, where like the action in the beginning of the movie is so good, there's no way to have a finale. It's like the helicopters in Apocalypse. So it's like the first 113 minutes of this movie are fucking perfect. And you just can't top it. You can't top the subway car with the end of this film. And they kind of give up. They kind of shrug their shoulders.
Yeah, we'll go when we do half-ass. We'll go into the alternate ending. I had basically the same thing, but I'll even go a little more precise. Why is Zeus involved in the last 40 minutes of this movie?
No.
It's fucking ridiculous. He's a normal person. There's a moment in this movie where it's like, all right, Zeus, thanks for everything.
Yeah.
Maybe you should go back to your store and your family, and this is now like a police
Simon
matter.
no longer needs you.
Simon,
We're-
you're not
we're like-
involved.
yeah.
You're not. This isn't a buddy cop movie anymore. Thank you for everything. But instead, he's just now a cop.
He's in a chopper leading the attack.
He's shot in the leg. He's fine.
You're doing Windhorse fingers.
Yeah, because I was gonna fucking get at Bill, but there's no reason to. It's a good point. You know what? This happens so often in these mid-90s action movies.
Yeah.
Do you remember how Erica Eleniak becomes a fucking commando?
You're right.
She pops out to one of the great adolescent Van Lathan moments of Milk of the early 1990s. It's just, bro, I'm not even gonna fucking try to act like I wasn't like, oh shit, when that happened. And then by the end of the movie, she a fucking Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
So that does happen in these films, and it's something that they've gotten away from. They don't do that much.
No, that
anymore.
is probably for the best.
I mean, 48 Hours invented it. Reggie Hammond goes from he's on a 48-hour, whatever. By the end of the movie, he's shooting guns,
guys,
trying
yeah.
to find Gans. Did you have a weak link or no?
I did. Holly. Got sick of it. The wife. No more mention of her. Hey, McClane, call your wife right now. Go call Holly. Man, fuck all that. We got to get to the end of the mission here. Stop bringing Holly back into the movie. I know she was a big presence in terms of the driving narrative force of particularly the first Die Hard, and you could say
second two. She's on the plane.
She's on the plane, but at this point, it's over. He saved basically 2 different cities, and Holly's still not fucking with him.
Can I give you? I had this for casting couch. A twist that would have made this movie better. The Colleen Camp character. We make her Annabella Sciorra, and John McClane's involved with her post-divorce, but she's dumped him because he's an alcoholic. But she works in the police department with him, and now we have a little sexual tension, and she's pissed, and blah blah blah. And the movie's just better.
And then it gives her.
You take the phone call. We have the meeting. If that's a pitch.
It's just a better movie.
Yeah.
And then it gives it a little bit more stakes.
Oh, I got to call Holly. Oh, now I got to call her.
Is Bedelia in any other Die Hard movies? I don't think so, right?
And honestly, probably we talked about this. You could talk yourself into her not being in Die Hard 2. I know they shoehorn
I think
her
it's sort of like they basically make it. That's why John isn't like, I'm just going to turn this over to airport cops.
It's a little
personal
shoehorn
for him.
The Die Hard 3 is ridiculous. What's age the worst? We get it. McClane has a bad headache. He mentions it 42 times. By like the 9th reference, little stale. What else do you have?
I mean, explosions in the New York City financial district are a little touchy. And then this whole thing came out around the Oklahoma bombing.
Yep.
So they had to do a lot of basically preemptive press to say it had nothing. Obviously we're not making light of this, but we're also
Willis does the press tour for it, and they're like, there will be no bombing questions.
Yeah.
We're just talking about the movie we made it a year ago.
So probably that, I would say, the 2 age the worst.
So McClane's policing. John gets to the point to where if he thinks he just kills you. Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
If you have an Eastern European accent, you're dead.
You're dead. Particularly when he walks up on the guys and the thing, he just boom, boom, boom. I get it though. He's in a combat situation. And although I like it aesthetically, the heist where there's been an explosion and there are 5 or 10 dump trucks that are going down there and taking all of that gold, and the cops are just like, oh, okay, this guy's it. That just doesn't make that much sense. That's something that you have to believe in order for the movie to work.
Do you know what actually also has aged the worst is probably the reputation of city services. Because in this movie, when they're we're going to have to find the bomb ourselves. And it's the sanitation workers and the librarians and the firefighters are all just we're going to fucking walk into schools. There might be a bomb. We got to do it. And now it's kind of everybody's I don't know, these guys, they take too long to respond. Who needs libraries?
What's age worse? Well, they even McTiernan has acknowledged this. The gold is just way heavier than this.
The
movie
dump trucks they would need 100 dump trucks.
Would have needed 480 dump trucks to take out as much gold as they took out. Each gold bar weighs 25 pounds.
One of the funny things is that they
just
only
completely fucked it up.
there's in the Federal Reserve, there's only apparently $1.5 billion or something like that.
So where did they get the other 300 million? Oh, it was 174
Yeah,
million.
they took some liberties.
Okay. But it's like that's not even like a piece of the Lakers at this point.
Right.
Like,
Because the Lakers sold for $10 billion.
$10 billion
Valuable franchise
of all time.
ever.
$10 billion valuation.
Yeah.
$10 billion.
Got $4.8 billion for it. $4.8 billion check, actually.
Yeah, like 10 billion bucks, you know. And by the way,
Valued.
the Minnesota championships don't count thing is absurd. It's absurd.
Okay, so if OKC wins on Sunday, we're taping this before Game 7.
We should have
Is OKC like, we've won our second title.
Honestly,
It's
this
ridiculous.
is what you should do. If OKC wins on Sunday, you should do like a live pod from Seattle congratulating them.
Yeah, congratulating the Sonics fans for pulling off their second title.
If the Sonics fans want to say that's our franchise, they can. But it's the same franchise, right?
You won 11 titles. That's fine. You've still won a shitload.
They've won 17
You're counting
titles.
5 titles in Minneapolis. When then they moved to LA.
But it's the same franchise.
And they just kept the name Lakers. They're
It's not
just
the
fucking
Bus
Lakes
family.
there.
Like, what are you talking about?
They're the Lakers, though. They're still the Lakers, though.
It's bullshit.
Okay.
You win a title in a city, that's where you won the title.
17 championships.
Minus
$10 billion valuation.
You know, 16.
Valuations.
16 championships.
16.
Wait, now you made me screw up my. Oh, okay.
Boston blitzed your mind.
No. The ending stinks.
Yeah.
It's bad.
This is
Ran out of
It's
gas.
the flaw of the movie. It's
Yeah.
it's the what's age the worst. And then you can see the alternate movie, the alternate ending on the special edition, all the stuff, and it's on YouTube. I sent it to you guys. The actual ending of this movie didn't happen. McClane goes and finds him in Hungary and plays McClane Says with Jeremy Irons and eventually kills him with a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. It's the most interesting John McClane scene of the first 3 movies. And of course, the studio's like, this is too dark.
Yeah.
We can't end the movie this way.
It's like he's a vigilante.
Yeah. So they basically hustle this reshoot. They spent a lot of money on it. It turns out because he has the location on that aspirin.
It's crazy. You're like, so there's like
It's idiotic.
like a Quebec bottle of aspirin means you know he's going to be back there now.
Like literally at that location.
Yeah.
And then there's a helicopter and then they shoot him. And then it's like Zeus is just sitting on the
they don't arrest.
sidewalk. Why is he in Quebec?
If I'm Zeus, I've had enough.
Yeah,
adventure.
I'm not going to Quebec.
I'm
Like,
not
let me
going
know
to
how it
Canada.
turns out.
Yeah.
Or when we
Did you
get to
catch him?
Quebec, we're not going to go jump this guy and put the spotlight on him when he's trying to have sex with Katya. We're going to just go arrest him.
Yeah,
Like,
or
send in SWAT.
Zeus is like,
Yeah.
my leg's fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip Quebec. I walk with a limp now. Where's my money for all of this? It's really dumb. So, all right. So we're going to go now to
My flex category.
the Ruffalo Hannah Rubinek Partridge Overacting Award.
Or that.
I mean,
Sam dials it up a couple times.
Sam dials it up and Irons dials it up a couple of times.
Yeah. Dan, what's your flex category?
It's the Ed Norton Reverse Dunk Award that this movie need a random sports scene.
Yeah.
You don't consider the brothers on the stoop?
Yeah,
to be
there's
a
some good
sports scene?
passes.
Yankee Stadium should have had a game going on.
Well, yeah.
Yankee Stadium should have had a game going on. There should have been a game going on. Like
You know what I think happened?
Wade Boggs, Don Mattingly, Paul O'Neill, Danny Tartable, all of those Yankees
I
that
have
are,
the answer for you.
what?
I think the lockout had happened. The strike.
Oh.
I think that's how they were able to film
So
in the
was
stadium.
Yankee Stadium just available for people to drop
it
by and
was.
check it out?
I think it was. I don't think there were games.
But
Should have been mentioned in the movie, though.
I look back at that era because that's right before the Yankee golden era starts.
Year before.
Year before.
They're in the 95 playoffs against Seattle.
So, some of these guys that would go on to become, mainstays, it's pre-Jeter.
It's a good call.
Yeah, but there should have been a game going on.
Could have gone to, or they could have done, the Met Stadium probably makes more sense
Shea,
for this
yeah.
movie. A little
Yeah,
closer.
probably.
The CR thinks Luke Wilson could have been Harrison Ford, hottest take award.
Not sure how hot this is.
Okay.
How hot is it to say it's the best Die Hard movie? And to go along with your points earlier, how hot is it to say that it's perhaps improved by not imperiling Holly, by not having that kind of like weight on McClane, that it's really just more about him trying to save the city and save himself.
So
Die Hard's one of the best movies of all time.
I just the hottest take award.
I think everybody
So-
needs to calm down on that take.
So-
No, because I think there are people out there who are like, Die Hard 3 is the best Die Hard movie, and not even hottest taking it. Like they actually genuinely believe it.
So it's interesting. I wanted to say it, but I didn't have the nuts for it. But this is my favorite one.
That's fine.
I'm not saying that this is better than Die Hard, right?
But I think
Hard's
I
too
think that's okay.
groundbreaking. It's has a perfect ending, whereas this ending is not.
Rocky 4 is my favorite Rocky movie. Or Rocky 3.
Yeah.
This is
I can't even remember.
This is my favorite one.
One of those two is my favorite.
Right.
It changes all the
It's
time.
not the best one, but this is my. I could see how people.
It's the
this
most
is my,
entertaining.
It's my favorite one.
Yeah.
I think it's fair. All right, I'm going full hot.
Good.
I think they blew it using the Simon Says gimmick for this movie. And I think it was a franchise. And I think it was just sitting there. And I don't know why. Initially, it was a script called Simon Says, written by the same screenwriter. Lethal Weapon grabbed it, couldn't figure it out.
Yeah,
They
Joel
kind
Silver
of
bought
give
it,
it to Die Hard 3 and they use it. I think it's either an action movie franchise or a horror movie franchise. And I actually think you could say it's a better horror movie franchise.
This basically Saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did Saw.
Yeah.
But the whole Simon Says gimmick, I didn't say Simon that time. I think I just see murders, blood, and sequels with it.
Wouldn't it be crazy if we found out that Trump has been getting Simon Says for like 8 years? And like every day he gets a phone call, it's like Simon Says you got to do this, and he's like, "Fuck, all right, I got to tweet this out."
Right. Well, so
That's actually kind of the plot of Captain America: Brave New World.
Yeah.
But
well, so Simon Says was supposed to be a Brandon Lee movie, and then he died.
he passed away. Yeah.
So if he doesn't die, and Simon Says just because, like, could they have made like 5 Simon Says?
It's been
movies?
30 years. We literally could probably get Simon Says going right now.
They could probably get it made. Bring our film.
Jack, does your generation care about Simon Says?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, y'all played that?
Oh yeah.
Interesting. You know what I didn't see, and maybe I missed this. Why did Joel Silver not produce this movie?
They had a falling
They had
out.
falling out.
Yeah.
Who had a falling out?
I think him and Willis.
Oh,
Yeah.
him and
Willis.
Willis. Okay, cool.
You know, Willis was feeling it a little bit. He's married to Demi Moore. and
Joel, a
he was
combative
making
personality, I
20
think.
million.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Bombastic.
Joel wasn't.
I think because that was there was a piece in the research about like Shane Black was maybe going to write this when it was Joel Silver, and then didn't.
Interesting that Joel Silver. This movie does not get made with Lawrence Fishburne.
And he goes on to make
makes the Matrix
Matrix.
with him.
I think this is true. I'm not positive for casting What Ifs. We did Fishburne, but that Sean Connery was their first choice for Simon
McTiernan
Gruber.
wanted him.
Yeah, I saw that.
So we think that's true?
I mean, I think he makes the phone.
I
think
saw
he
that
made
in
a
the
call.
research, but Sean said he didn't want to play like a
It's such
villain.
but then he,
Remember they
just,
did Medicine Man though. Remember the Medicine Man movie?
I
Bring him
just
back
think
from
that
Medicine
movie
Man.
bombs if he's, I don't think it's the same movie. I don't think it works.
Yeah.
I don't buy him as like an evil, plus him trying to do a German accent.
Also,
him as
Irons when he
Gruber's
takes
brother.
he's like got the tank top on. He's
Yeah,
ripped.
it just doesn't work.
When did has Sean gone bad in anything?
Fantasy?
No.
In Atlanta.
Connery.
Has Connery gone bad in anything?
Besides
He in like the
Barbara Walters
70s
interview.
stuff. He's like, I mean,
I haven't seen Hunt for Red October, but is he a bad guy in
he
that?
defects
no, he
to
defects.
So does that count?
no. He defects to
The
the
Americans.
American side.
Is that on? Is that streaming?
Dude, come on.
What is this Hunt for Red October thing? I'm not in on this
He's
joke.
just
It's
like,
a
I'm
white
like, it's
whale
the
for
most,
CR.
it's like one of the most
Oh, you've
obvious
never seen
re-
that before.
No, I've seen it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was about to.
I like.
okay.
I like it. We just haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
And CR.
And he keeps giving me like, he's Simon Saysing me. He's like,
It's
Simon
a-
says if you want to do Hunt for
it's
October, you got to watch Inside Moves.
a phenomenal.
I'm waiting until
insanely
CR
good movie.
becomes a divorced alcoholic. Then we're gonna do it. Showing up, just fucking smoking cigs.
God, CR, you look like shit.
He's bringing this little airport liquor bottles with him, pouring his coffee. McTiernan turned down Batman Forever so he could do this. That's
Good
a
call.
good casting winner. Best That Guy award. Is Colleen Camp count or is she Colleen
I
Camp?
think she's Colin Camp.
The Kevin Chamberlain as bomb expert Charles Weiss.
Yeah. This is
The
his first
bald guy with the
film?
glasses.
Yeah.
Just if you saw him after that, it would be this. But I think the answer is Walter Cobb.
Larry Brigman.
Larry Brigman. Never knew what his name was.
Mhm.
And
Big time New York theater actor. He's in the Al Pacino Richard III movie that got made like a little bit after this, but he like when in that movie you can see he's like a big time.
And he's in Injustice for All. I think.
Yes, yeah. I had Anthony Peck as Walsh is up there. He's also in Hunt for October. John Doman, who's Rawls from the Wire, is the construction foreman when they go into the tunnels. And I don't know if this is a that guy, but it's a that guy. Like if you know, is Elvis Duran.
Oh yeah, radio guy. Young Elvis Duran.
Yeah.
Young Elvis Duran. I have Phyllis Yvonne Stickney. The black lady who says in the movie, who says, everybody just called 911 at the same time. A mainstay. You see her everywhere. This is Malcolm X. All different types of roles. Shout out to her. I don't want to call her. She's a fantastic career, but I just wanted to shout her out.
I'd never do this, but I have to go back to a movie we did last week because I messed up a Best That Guy award.
Okay.
And it really bothered me all week because I didn't realize it was the same
Best
person.
Marathon Man, that guy?
So the guy who recognizes Zell, but doesn't recognize him right away and then follows him on the sidewalk.
I think
was also the gardener at the beginning of Bad News Bears Breaking Training.
Oh, shit.
Who was like
mentally... What was up with Marathon Man and Bad News Bears Breaking Training?
In Bad News, they use him. He's like basically the special needs gardener and they pretend he's the coach. And Kelly Leak teaches him how to say, hello, how are you?
How bad do you want to do Bad News Bears Breaking Training?
I just can't I love that movie and I can't believe I missed it.
Is that the Astro World one?
Astrodome.
Astrodome one, yeah.
Astroworld.
Kelly Leak drives, he's 13.
I'm sorry.
That was controversial Bad News Bears when they went to Astro
When
World.
Travis Scott takes over the Little League team.
They lose a couple of the kids.
It's Kelly Leak drives the van to the Astrodome.
Yeah, they go play.
Yeah.
Against
that guy was
they play against the
Houston Toros.
The Houston Toros, yeah. And then there's another one where they play against the Japanese
Japan
team.
We don't talk about that. That's the sequel we don't discuss. Deion Waiters award?
It's Sam Phillips.
It's Sam Phillips, without a doubt. That's easy. Or there's only one more person. The Chester A. Arthur truck driver.
Oh, Jerry.
Yeah. Jerry comes
played
in.
by Joe Zaloom.
Cooks for a little bit. Solves a riddle. Gets the fuck out of Dodge.
I already did my recasting couch of Annabelle Sciorra in the Colin Camp with some history of John McClane. If Joe Pantoliano is in here as Walter Cobb, I'm not going to argue.
Or like Graham Greene's really
Joe
good in this
Pantoliano's
movie.
in the movie, I'm not going to argue.
Yeah.
This is like peak Joey Pants. I feel like we could have snuck him in somewhere, but him as Walter Cobb, just getting mad at McClane and calling him a drunk. I don't think the movie's worse.
Yeah.
What do you have?
For recasting, I was thinking more about city. Could this have been in any other city?
San Francisco.
Because LA, you're just in traffic and you're dead. Simon wins. Simon says, do the collateral drive of LAX to downtown in 20 minutes.
You're done. Yeah, you're fucked.
Simon says, go to Eagle Rock. Fuck! It's going to take 3 hours.
Well, they're putting in a bike lane in Hollywood Boulevard. I'm dead.
Half-assed internet research. So they were trying to make Die Hard 3 for a couple years, and Bruce is just rejecting scripts left and right, and especially because there had been so many Die Hard ripoffs. But one of the scripts was called Troubleshooter, which had McClane fighting terrorists on a Caribbean cruise line.
Speed 2.
And Bruce Willis said, no thanks, sounds too much like Under Siege. They repurpose it, make it Speed 2.
Can I do a little number here? Because I was looking at IMDb.
That's Speed 2.
It's literally became Speed 2.
And one of the issues with them developing this at the time was that there were so many studios had so many scripts in development that were just Die Hard were just basically. So here are some of the ones that they had going at the time. That some of them got made, some didn't. Sandblast, which was Die Hard in a Sandstorm. No Safe Haven. Die Hard on Martha's Vineyard. Rosillo, let's go!
Oh yeah!
Oh my god!
Trackdown, Die Hard in the English Channel tunnel.
Wait, what was the Martha?
Sandblast. No Safe Haven was Die Hard.
Can we
on
make
Martha's
that
Vineyard.
now with Rosillo?
Rosillo he's
John
the
McClane.
leader. He's John McClane in
Rosillo is a
got the
sports
tank top.
podcaster, like hanging out in Martha's Vineyard.
He's on the vineyard.
Him and Chris Long go out for a really long night on Martha's Vineyard. They're hungover, and then it's like the ferries. They're not running. So Trackdown is Die Hard in the English Channel tunnel. Suspension, Die Hard on the George Washington Bridge. Platform and Rig were both Die Hard on oil rig movies. High Roller was Die Hard in Vegas, which is basically Con Air at the end, I guess, right?
Yeah, but they never. Vegas was still sitting there in the 90s as a full action movie.
You could have done Die Hard.
It's, by the way, sitting there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? In Contempt, Die Hard in a Courthouse. He Who Dares, Die Hard in the British Embassy in the United States.
I feel like you're making these up.
No, these are all from IMDb. L4, Die Hard at the Center for Disease Control. That is just like, and a bunch of Die Hard in Hurricanes.
Die Hard Wuhan.
Yeah, Die Hard.
You gotta keep the virus in. That's actually, you gotta kill the terrorists, but you gotta keep the virus
pretty
in.
good.
Yeah.
Die Hard Wuhan is
They're
pretty
gonna
good.
they're gonna release this if we don't stop them. Damn. Man, that Martha's Vineyard one. What a great location for an action movie. There's no way in, no way out. You're
And
there,
you could
you're
have
there.
like maybe Russillo, like over the course of the movie, he falls in love with like a yuppie girl who's only there for the summer.
Right.
Die Hard Catalina is sitting there too.
Driving around
Yeah.
on buggies.
That's
Yeah,
good.
just like
Looking at
wedding
dolphins.
at Catalina. Oh my God, such a pain in the ass to get there. And then it's just the island, you know. The screenwriter, Jonathan Hensley, was detained by the FBI because the Federal Gold Reserve stuff in this movie was so accurate that they thought he had like inside intel and actually brought him in for questioning.
What was his research? Where'd he get it from? Where'd he get his stuff?
He just said he read everything in the New York Times. Bruce Willis's sandwich board was blank.
Didn't want to take the chance.
They CGI'd it.
Yeah, they didn't want
Yeah.
paparazzi.
They thought it was offensive.
Yeah.
And then Van, how did they do the 4-gallon jug thing? Just want to see if you could do this right now.
I can't. The 4-gallon jug thing. I really don't know how you would do it.
Can you do
I
it?
told you I would die during that. I have no idea. Like, if the idea is that you can't subtract, you can't be off by a couple of ounces, then I wouldn't be able to do it.
You take the 3-gallon jug.
Uh-huh.
You pour all of it into the 5-gallon
So
jug.
now there's 3 in there.
You take the 3-gallon jug again. You pour all of it into the 5-gallon jug, but only 2 of the gallons go. 1 gallon stays in the
But how do you know
3-gallon
you
jug.
only got 1 gallon left?
So you keep that 1 gallon in the 3-gallon jug because you've poured 5 of the 6 gallons into the 5.
Okay, yeah.
Then you pour out the 5-gallon jug. You take the 1 gallon that's left in the 3-gallon jug. You pour that into the 5-gallon jug. So
And
now
then you
that has
do it
1
again.
gallon. Then you do the 3-gallon, pour it in, you have 4. That's actually pretty
That's pretty
easy.
smart.
Okay. Well, how about this? Since it's so easy. What we'll do, since because you're talking your shit right now, that's fine.
I'm not talking about shit. I'm
You're
just
like
saying
that-
it actually wasn't that hard. The other one I think was way harder.
There's a room over there. Get FanDuel to fucking sponsor it. The Bill Simmons Jug Challenge for the Ringer Network, and I will take odds and we'll make bets about whether or not you can get this done.
But we have to
Sponsored.
switch it up.
Well, yeah, we
Switch up the
we'll
numbers
give
because
you-
he's
switch up the
obviously
numbers 'cause
nailed.
You figure this out.
Yeah.
But if you really feel like you can do this, I'm
I already
actually
said I could. I already said how to do it.
we'll figure out a different one. The Bill Simmons Jug Challenge.
You just want to do the Bill Simmons Jugs
Jug
challenge. That's where that was all going. Apex Mountain. Bruce Willis?
No. Shit,
Well,
no.
you could say that these couple of years are, but
I
yeah.
don't know, man. I think
Bruce
there's a case
Willis,
that's
Apex
right here.
Mountain?
I think you can make a case that's right here.
Okay. I mean, I want to hear the case.
Well, so he's red hot as an actor.
Yeah.
Then it dies down. Then he has Pulp in 94 and this in 95. And that leads to the 12 Monkeys, Armageddon, Fifth Element, Siege, Sixth Sense, Whole 9 yards.
This is his run.
I feel like he's kind of the number one call in 95 for anything with action or kind of cool anything, right? Like Hanks is like Hanks has the Hanks corner.
Yeah.
I just think Bruce, this is it.
Yeah,
He's
I
think he has. I think if you're
I see what
making
you
a
mean.
movie, it's like, can we get Hanks? Can we get Bruce? Can we get Cruise?
Right.
Those are the first 3 calls.
I see what you mean.
And
Can we
then
get the guy who
Denzel's
played
probably
Targo?
fourth.
Yeah.
And when you talk about like culturally, the Demi Moore,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, like Demi Moore, this is right around when she got the $20 million for striptease.
Mhm.
I think it was 12, but yeah.
As a couple,
Well, you just Lakers valuationed him.
Yeah, exactly.
as a couple, it's about as good as it gets for a couple.
He's a huge star.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah.
Sam Jackson, I don't think so, but I also couldn't tell you when it was. Maybe Jackie Brown?
No, I think it's
Later?
this
area?
This area doing Pulp and Die Hard with a
Still feel
vengeance?
like it's like, how long is this guy going to be up here? And then at some point that flipped.
Yeah.
He's just done so many different types of movies. It would be difficult to pin down like when he was the most relevant and most at the peak of his powers because he maintained.
It's somewhere in the
that role
90s, though. We can agree on that, right?
Maybe, but
Like
then,
at some point he became like, oh, Sam Jackson's just here now, and that's how it's going to be.
maybe, but you could then argue that it's
It's
Nick
MCU
Fury.
movies,
Yeah,
yeah.
you could,
Could
So
we
maybe when he gets Star Wars,
that's 99.
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
Phantom
so it's right
Menace.
around there.
Yeah,
Jeremy Irons probably winning the Oscar.
or Margin Call?
How about Harlem as a movie location?
shit. No,
What would you have?
Harlem as a movie location.
Yeah, in a movie.
I mean, I said that so quickly, and now
I know you
what about Harlem Nights?
I mean, not very well liked movie that I think has had a
culturally it just
re-reckoning.
depends.
No,
Yeah.
I know, but it was
Um,
a bomb when it came out.
So you got Harlem Nights, you got the Cotton Club, you got Hoodlum. These are all going to be black movies. You got, I don't know. I just wouldn't think about Harlem as a movie location. Die Hard with a Vengeance being,
It's only like in Harlem briefly. Yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't think.
What about movies set during the summer? Like summer movie.
Action movies, maybe,
Okay.
that needed the summer
Yeah.
as part of what
The
they were
Heat.
doing.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The Wall Street school system,
Yeah, for sure.
Apex Mountain,
Yeah.
never discussed before or since. The Gold Reserve, Bonwit Teller, 100%.
For sure.
100%.
Maybe the first and last time it's been mentioned in a film.
Colleen Camp, Who's Your Girl, the cigarette smoker, Sam
Phillips.
Phillips, all of them. Cruiser Hanks for this.
Oh, I got a couple of other Apex Mountains. I wanna
Go.
ask.
Let's hear it.
Die Hard sequels.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. John McClane sidekicks.
Yes.
Yes.
So this
Easily.
is bigger than Val Johnson, bigger than Justin Long. So
Who's
these
the
are-
dude in 2 that helps him with the air traffic control? He barely has a partner in that movie.
Yeah. So John McClane sidekicks. This is definitely an Apex Mountain of John McClane sidekick.
Cruise or Hanks? To me, easy Cruise.
The Running.
Cruz is McClane?
Yeah.
I could also see Cruz as Simon.
Oh,
Oh.
Blonde
Now,
Cruz?
OCR. Now we're
that
talking.
fucking rocks.
OCR.
But
Trying
he
to do
was-
a German accent.
Yeah.
Say OCR one more time. And then you got a problem. It's a gigantic pause.
All right, Bill Simmons Jugs movie.
No, that's actually awesome.
So Cruise with the collateral hair,
Yeah.
where he just goes
Yeah.
blonde. He tries a German accent.
Yeah.
Like Valkyrie. He tries it for like 10 minutes and then he's like, forget it.
What thing would Cruise have learned how to do?
He probably
Drive a dump truck.
learn how to do all the construction stuff. He's like,
I
we don't
mean-
need Targo. I can do all that.
I've actually studied gold.
What if you drop the racial component?
Cruise is Zeus.
It's Cruz and Hanks together.
Why drop the racial component? Why not have Cruz running an electronics store in Harlem? Just be like, hey, I'm the first gentrifier. Here I
Yeah,
am.
I'm the guy. Like everybody knows him.
They love me here. Scorsese or Spielberg? I would say Scorsese.
Yeah, Marty, New
Yeah.
York City.
What role would Phil Hoffman have played?
Simon.
Yeah.
Be good.
Good
Although
Simon.
he'd also
Walter,
be good.
the lead cop with a
Or
big
you could have done
mustache
maybe
would've been fun.
the Graham Greene part.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Pick a nits.
John.
We
how's the
mentioned
keeping?
everything being open at 7:45 in
Yeah.
this neighborhood is a little dicey. Zeus leaves the store, doesn't lock up, nothing, just leaves it open.
Well, I mean, it's not like that. I think he tries to get back to his store multiple times.
Yeah.
Never says at any point. We hear about Holly 45 times. We never hear Zeus say over the next 15 hours, shit, I left my store open.
He's also a staple in the community, so maybe they're not going to rob
Doesn't
him.
he think his
Wouldn't
store's
say it
getting
once?
destroyed though?
Yeah,
Oh, he said those guys are. Oh, he does say that.
Yeah.
Because He does say that
I
because
just feel like it'd be on his mind a tiny bit more that his entire livelihood is about to.
because he stuck
probably
up for McClane and he says what those guys are doing to my store right now. Yeah, he does say that.
How did Simon know that McClane wore the sign?
It seems like they are watching them at any moment. Like he knows, like when they're in the van with the FBI.
Oh, he's looking at
and the NSA
everywhere.
guy that they're like, are you still, putting your
All right,
glasses in your mouth to
Let's
butch
talk
up?
this out. Simon's planning this whole thing. He's got 100 people working for him because we see them
It's
all
a lot
at
of
the
guys.
end.
Yeah, there's a lot of dudes. Remember,
He's got two football teams of people.
Well, yeah,
Is there like a Mike Vrabel meet the group moment in 3 months before the heist? So hey guys,
So you're asking
I'm Simon Gruber. So you guys are going to do this?
There's some kind of paramilitary organization or something.
Yeah,
like that.
they're all like
They're
mercenaries.
terrorists, yeah.
But you're asking, does Simon Gruber have a Connor Stallions who's constantly on rooftops looking at McClane?
Yeah, it's like
well, the dudes in Yankee Stadium.
He's like, Luther, you're gonna drive the truck with me, and Bobby, you're gonna be in Harlem, making sure McClane's gonna wear that sign.
Yeah.
Like how, or did they just put a camera there?
Well, my unanswerable question for this, which is tied directly to this, is how many of these tasks did Gruber reasonably expect McClane to complete?
And how did he know they were being completed?
Whatever he was doing, he was obviously keeping them busy until.
But if they fucked the St. Ives thing up, was there even a bomb in the trash can?
Well, at the end when they ask him, they go, "There was never any bomb in the school." And he goes,
I'm a
soldier. I'm not a monster."
Right.
So I don't know how many.
But
people,
he does blow up the train.
He does blow up the train,
and the train, if it stayed on the train, would have killed thousands or hundreds.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go. Maybe you were a monster. You're about to blow up 200 people.
Right. But he had to blow them up to achieve his goal because he needed to go in there. So yeah, definitely a monster though.
We mentioned the 480 dump trucks. Minor nitpick for me. I think movies fuck this up a lot. I just think McClane is just covered in blood.
I had our main character.
I think blood is I think he's had brains. Like think about Marvin getting his brains all over like Sam Jackson's hair in Pulp Fiction, getting shot point blank. There's four Marvins in the elevator.
Yeah.
Like there's there's
shot him in the
stuff
face.
all over John McClane.
So take it a step further. If I bang my shin in the middle of the night, like getting back into bed, I'm limping for like a day. They get a train derailment. They get shot. Zeus gets shot. They get splinters from a winch wire stuck in shoulders. They get trapped in a flood, then shot through a manhole cover, flip a Mercedes traveling at high speed, fall halfway off a bridge onto a hard surface, and they're more or less like walking around at the end of this movie.
And McClane gets hit in the head with a bottle.
Yeah.
This character, the John McClane character, is the same character from Unbreakable. That's him in Unbreakable.
Yeah.
It has to be. Because he is so fucked up. There's actually one scene where he's all fucked up, blood everywhere, and it's almost as if the water rejuvenates him because he takes the water, he wipes the blood off, and then
he's fine.
He's ready to go back in the game.
It's hungover. Just needs some aspirin.
I got a couple picking nits.
Go.
So McClane doesn't even think about taking the $12 billion.
Right. Or even just being like, what's important is we each get a gold bar here.
Right. So the gold bars are everywhere. He says, we'll make a deal. There's 12. Think about the stakes here. People are going to look at Van like he's an asshole, but I have to just put it out there. This is not like, hey, we got a suitcase full of $500,000 for you, $200,000 to put. It's $12 billion. McClane, the Boy Scout, doesn't even think about it. Doesn't go, or even doesn't even tell Zeus or somebody else they did offer us $12 billion.
It's happened in Marathon Man last week.
Yeah.
Hoffman just could have left with all the diamonds. He's like, nah, I'm too good for the
or
diamonds.
A diamond.
Yeah.
A diamond. That's
Just put
tuition
two in
for
your
the rest
pocket.
of the
Jesus
Columbia.
Christ.
Yeah.
Secondly, the henchmen that are in this are all 6'4" German dudes with crew cuts.
Yeah.
There's just no fucking way you're going to believe that these guys are cops or guys that work on
Walsh
Wall Street.
fucks this up when they all arrive.
Yeah.
And all these guys get off and Simon gets off the truck and is like, hey there, partner. And it's like, why is there like a fake German Texan man who's in charge of city services here? Like who's going to do all the like demolition work?
Simon was like Sam Presti. Like he liked length and athleticism.
Right.
A lot of 3-and-D guys. We didn't talk about the biggest pick and nit. McClane, first of all, he drowns in the tunnel. But even if you're going to say he doesn't and the thing shoots him out, he gets shot up in the air. Who's driving by? Zeus Carver coming back from Yankee Stadium. Hey,
What's up?
it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's where, like, to me, that's the jump the shark moment of this movie. We're like, all right, this is now getting stupid.
I do, for the same way that you were talking about how you'd like to test yourself with the water jug thing. I do want to do the move that McClane does, where he's like, take the anti-lock brakes off.
That's
And
a
then fucking-
badass fucking
Right.
shot, bro.
Yeah, that was
and
good.
He flew, boom, 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 boom.
And
That's a
every time
badass
I see it,
shot.
I'm like, yeah, man, are anti-lock brakes holding me back? Like,
Last one is a big one. Did you have any more?
No.
Simon.
oh, just the German thing. Like the
Simon's-
second you hear a German accent, you're like, wait a second.
Right. Simon's this mastermind.
Yeah.
Planned everything out meticulously. And then just gives McClane the aspirin bottle that has the address of where he got the aspirin bottle.
Well, also,
and
how did Simon think he was going to get away with all the dumpsters being full of like metal pieces on Targo?
just wouldn't be like, sorry about your headache, John.
Yeah. Tells him to keep the bottle. Basically tells him, hey, there's the bottle. Why don't you check it out?
It's like he wanted to get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Sequel, prequel, prestige TV, all black cast are untouchable, where they did multiple sequels.
You guys
Complicated.
didn't like Live Free or Die Hard, not even a little bit.
I thought Oliphant's good in it.
I thought it was
It's fine.
pretty cool.
I didn't-
Yeah.
If I'm on an airplane and I don't
I
have
just
a
don't
lot
think
of choices, maybe.
hacking is a good Die Hard thing.
No.
Saw it in theaters.
Me too.
Oh, I did too. I saw it the day of the NBA draft. Yeah.
What a day for you.
Well, I was trying to get ready to write the running diary. Went to like an 11 o'clock Die Hard 4 at the Grove to kind of take my mind off it, and was disappointed.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Is this movie better with Wayne Jenkins, Danny Trejo, Doris Burke, Sam Jackson, Nell, Byron Mayo, Barney Cousins, Tony Romo, Harling Mays, Chris Collinsworth, Daniel Plainview, Longlegs, or Wilford Brimley in The Firm?
Got to do one more DB before as we
Yeah,
end the NBA
it's
season.
time.
And I fucked up by never mentioning that earlier in the playoffs, she said, "Bonjour, Mr. Hartenstein." So I would probably go DB saying, "Oh, Wiedersehen, Herr Gruber."
Simon Gruber, just a mastermind.
You've played through headaches, but we see you.
He sees the whole city as a launching pad. Just one Oscar, who gets it? Man,
McTiernan.
Yeah. Direction.
is there an Irons case?
No.
Nah.
No?
Doesn't do enough.
Out of curiosity,
It's
what
really
was,
good
what
in
was
this.
this Oscars year like?
No chance for anything.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
95 was rough. Unanswerable questions. What's the next day like with the newspaper coverage? What's the lead story? Is
Yeah,
it the
This is
subway
Bill,
explosion?
that's a fucking awesome question.
subway
Wait,
explosion?
let's actually,
Is it the water thing
and can we
going
be
on?
specific about how does the New York Post cover it
Bonwit
versus
Teller
how the
blowing
New York
up?
Times covers it?
So you have
New York's under attack. What are the headlines?
You have multiple explosions. You have the flood. You have McClane himself. Then you have somebody getting cut in half on a boat.
You have a boat blowing up.
You have a
three things
school.
blowing up.
You have a
Because a lot of stuff doesn't quite happen. I think the number one story is the subway crash. Subway crash is on the front page in the New York
I think it's
Post.
almost a New York under attack.
kind of because the bombs in the school.
Madman
finding
gets
a bomb
away.
in a school is a fucking crazy story.
But they didn't. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it's an
Oh,
almost
it's a part
story.
of the it is. It's a part of the narrative. Then Simon dies, so they got his face on the deal. This is the mastermind of the New York.
It would have been
bloody-
cool if Simon had made it a multi-day thing so that we could have had New York Post Simon says
Headlines
we're dead.
every day.
You know?
Simon
Yeah.
says the headline.
Yeah.
Could have been like an 8-day thing. And then the other thing I was thinking was 1994, which was an amazing time in New York City because you had the Rangers, you had the Knicks, you had the heyday of Mike and the Dog.
Mm.
And then you have Die Hard filming in New York, probably Apex Mountain.
Wait, you're skipping a
1994
very
New York.
important question.
What?
How do Mike and the dog react to this?
Well, so that was my third thing.
If this is really New York City, what is the next day Mike and the dog?
Well, so is it 1995 Mike and the Dog or 1994?
Don't know. What is it?
Hey, we have
Because they're filming this in 94.
Uh-huh.
But I because the movie came out in May 95. we have to assume it happened in May 95. So the Knicks are in the playoffs. And I think Dog's like, Mike, we got to talk about what's going on in New York City later. But first, game 3, Knicks Pacers. Let's talk about what does Ewing have to do? Later on, we're going to talk about how things blowing up, Mike. But it was a huge day in New York.
I
Lot
just went to Bonwit last week.
Yeah. So I went to Bonwit 3 weeks ago. It's a staple of the city. But driving through Central Park, Dog, it's just crazy. I just can't believe they did that. Yeah, I think they get to it in the second hour.
Take some calls.
Yeah. And then we got to talk Rangers, Mike.
Yeah.
What piece of memorabilia would you want or not want from this movie?
I want her knife.
The scythe.
The little scythe that she has.
That's good.
I thought I wanted a gold bar, but it's going to be a fake gold bar. How much is one of those gold bars worth?
I'd want one of the bricks. If like a game used Die Hard gold brick.
Bricked up.
Movie used.
Like how much would one actual gold bar like that for real? Like how much?
So apparently they're 25 pounds.
But how much is it worth? A 25 pound
Depends
gold
on
bar.
the price of gold at the time.
Yeah, at any given moment.
I know I understand financial shit, but like what's the ballpark?
Well, it would depend on gold by the pound. So what is it by the pound? If it's like $100 by the pound, then that's the price. So it's a brick.
Let's see.
They always say buy gold. It's like gold never goes down.
I can't figure this out.
Okay, I'm gonna do this.
I'm sure somebody will email us.
It's $108 by the gram today.
By the gram.
$3,300 by the ounce.
By the ounce. $3,300 by the ounce.
So it's that.
How many ounces in a pound? Fucking math.
Gold price per
master.
ounce, $3,367 right now.
So each brick was like over $100,000.
Yeah. Look at you. Jugs.
Coach Finstock Award for Best Life Lesson. What do you got?
If we can beat racism, we can beat Europe. They work together. They beat racism. And then they beat the Germans. Just like we did in fucking 44, baby.
I love it. I was going to say, just don't count out the divorced alcoholics in your life.
Yeah.
You never know when you're going to surprise you.
Yeah.
I was going to say for the piece of memorabilia that I would want is the packaged shirt that they hand John McClane at the police station to be like, here, you got to put something else on. And then I would wear that shirt for my entire alcoholic era of podcasting.
If the sandwich board wasn't
blank, shit, Bill, get the fuck out of here.
It was CGI.
I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to defend.
And and you're at somebody's house, and they're like, "Yo, I have the sandwich board. Do you want it?"
You know what's funny is like all the random shit.
You know, if he wore that in Boston, people would be like, "Hey, man, how's it going?"
Come on.
So, yeah.
What the hell?
It's probably.
Can I get one of those?
Yeah. Where'd you get that at?
Would you want the blank sandwich board?
No, I don't want the blank sandwich board.
Pretty good artifact from the 90s movies. I wouldn't want it either. Best double feature choice. I'm going to go with Die Hard.
Oh, okay.
Go Die Hard right to Die Hard 3.
That's good.
Skip Die Hard 2, which is kind of in its own universe.
You know what I got?
Under Siege?
I got The Siege.
Oh, because it's another New York.
It's another
That's really
New
good.
York, all whatever, with Bruce Willis, who kind of starts off like he's going to be the hero in that, and ends up
I
being
still
the
haven't
asshole.
decided whether I like that movie, and it came out
It
like
gets
almost 30 years
better
ago.
Fucking every time I look at it.
I might have to watch
Sadly.
it again.
Yeah.
My dad's here all weekend. Maybe I'll make him watch it.
It gets better every time I look at
It's really good Denzel. And it's really good Willis.
Like a off-kilter kind of Annette Bening.
Mm-hmm. I would probably... I'll just go Pulp Fiction.
Who won the movie?
I'm gonna say Sam Jackson.
Oh.
Because I think
I had Sam as well.
it's the breath of fresh air that the franchise needed. It's one of those rare moments when you can tell, I don't know if this is literally true, but at least on screen, you can tell that the star is happy to share the screen with the person and is like, you got this scene. Like you can make fun of me. You can like make me look stupid. You can make me look small-minded or whatever. I love acting with you. And I think he just gives this movie a new life.
I'm going to go Willis. It's just hard to beat the character of John
Mm-hmm.
McClane.
I think Sam Jackson wins because Pulp Fiction no longer becomes a fluke.
I see what you mean.
He is now there. He can help carry a major movie, and now the rest of his career falls into place. And the movie stands the test of time.
Mhm.
And people love it. Like CR was at what theater were you at?
Idiots, yeah.
Videos
On Sunday.
night.
How many people?
Packed house.
People loving it.
Yeah, on a Sunday night.
Have we done The Last Boy Scout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Left-handed throw is tough. Don't know why they had synced that in. Let me ask you, what is more intriguing to you, Florida Keys month or New Orleans month?
What do we got for the keys?
yeah. What's in there?
Out of time?
Oh shit! Out of Time is that.
What's
shit.
the Hackman movie?
When I say I've been
With Melanie
scouting Out of
Griffith?
Time,
Oh,
it's
isn't-
like the fucking Mavericks studying Cooper flag tape at this point. Like, it's going to happen this summer. Just telling you.
Here's the only thing about New Orleans month versus Florida Keys month. It really comes down to, in my opinion, a battle between Angel Heart and Out of Time. And like, which movie do you want to do more? And that is a tough decision to make. An Angel Heart
New Orleans
rewatchables
has
would be
Heaven's Prisoner.
fucking unhinged.
It's on the list.
Heaven's Prisoners, Angel Heart.
What are the other two New Orleans movies? Big Easy.
I mean, I would say we should do.
Can I throw a Florida Keys?
Let's do it again. But
Have you ever watched
Which
Night?
one?
let's do it again.
What-
The
what?
movie. Let's do it again. You
Oh,
ever
let's
saw
do it again.
What's
Uptown
that
Saturday
one?
Night with Bill Cosby and
Oh,
and
you're
then-
going way back.
And then let's do it again with
How about Tightrope with Clint Eastwood?
Tightrope with Clint
Going
Eastwood?
through the French Quarter looking for
yeah.
a sexual assaulter and kind of gets pulled in.
He's in too deep.
He's getting into the dark side.
Maybe we should do Into Deep month.
Into Deep
Crossing
month
the
is
line
good.
Yeah,
month?
crossing the line month.
Tightrope's a good one.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? I kind of like the dark side of the French Quarter.
We could 8mm.
Well, that would be a good time to do the Miami Vice.
We're doing that live in LA.
My favorite Florida Keys, I think, is Night Moves, which is about Hackman plays an
That's a good
ex-football
movie.
player turned private eye,
Yeah.
who has to go search for the teenage daughter of a B-movie actress in the Keys.
Wild Things is Keys too, right?
Wild Things is Keys. Wait, Wild Things might just be Miami.
I think it's the Keys.
Is it?
We could do
South Florida.
South Florida month and get Scarface in finally.
South Florida month.
South Florida month would be Scarface, Wild Things, Miami
South
Vice.
Florida month.
South Florida month, yeah. Scarface, Wild
That gets
Things.
a little more interesting. I feel like
Miami
the
Vice.
Keys are the most underrated movie location.
Miami Blues.
Movie TV. What was that Netflix show?
Bloodline.
Really used the Keys nicely.
Good first season, yeah.
I
Yeah.
just can't think of that many movies that are set in the Keys that like besides the ones that we talked about.
I'm upset that New Orleans hasn't been in more movies. Like
Well,
in
Well,
more
it stands
good
in
movies.
for everything.
There's
They
a-
shoot so much there.
But there's a ton that we're forgetting. There's obviously the movie The Big Easy. Did you like that movie?
What's the
I did, but it hasn't aged great.
What's the Alec
it's
Baldwin?
pretty dated.
He's talking
The
about
Heaven's Prisoners
Heaven's
is a
Prisoners.
classic.
Yeah. So I mean, there's films on there. We're not thinking about them. And then there are a lot of movies.
I
that
knew
go
you'd
down.
be here, Robichaud.
Hey, can I tell you something about that? That movie is the movie where I realized that it wasn't quite going to happen for Alec Baldwin.
Is Angel Heart New Orleans?
It is.
Come on, CR.
That's what I thought.
Louis Cypher. Because Heaven's
That's the movie that gets the rewatchables canceled and from Spotify. They're like, we no longer like to be
draw the
associated.
can I be real? When you go back and you look at that movie, there was a lot of scandal around it during that time. It ages actually better than some of the other films that, I mean, obviously she's doing wild shit in the movie.
Cliff Huxtable's daughter being in that movie was the single craziest thing that happened in the 1980s.
It was
I would put it against anything else
It's
that
true.
happened in the 80s.
it was a conversation.
You can't even
Yeah.
understand what that
My
was
mother
like.
was like, what is that girl doing? Because the movie was set in New Orleans, so it was a big deal. Like, my mother was like, what is that girl doing? Like, because it was like Angel Heart was a devil worshiping movie and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's-
I forgot about that.
That was America's Family.
yeah.
Still can't believe it.
you could also
Again,
do-
like just hearing rumors about, oh, there's a big sex scene in this movie. And it's like, with
No.
Lisa Bonet?
Covered in blood.
And then you go to the movie and you actually see it and you're like, ah.
Yeah.
I just,
You could also do Controversy Month. Movies that went crazy with
Oh,
controversy.
really controversial films.
Really
Yeah.
controversial films.
Yeah, it
Or
could
whatever.
almost be like, holy fuck, this was a big deal month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crying
Angel Heart was
Game.
one of those.
Yeah.
Well, then there was the whole thing with Angel Heart about whether they actually had sex or not.
Whether or not they were actually fucking.
That would be a
yeah.
good month.
Did
Did they actually have sex or not?
Don't look. Yeah.
Monsters Ball, where there is some talk. There's some talk. There's talk.
Don't Look Now with Julie Christie
Yeah.
and Donald Sutherland. That was a famous one.
Yeah.
Last Tango in Paris. Was there talk?
Can't remember that one.
Yeah.
That one was problematic. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
became a problematic one later. There's been over the years, there was one where the couple, Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger in The Getaway.
And The
That was-
Getaway.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they took some liberties.
See, this is my thing with Alec Baldwin. I know we got to wrap up, but all of these movies mean something to me. The Getaway, I fucking loved. Heaven's Prisoners, I loved. I like these movies, but people they weren't fucking with him. Like, it just wasn't.
I think they were fucking with
They
him.
knew
I think
deep down
Alec was
what was
like
lurking
making
in
some
there.
weird choices.
Yeah.
I mean, he talked his way out of Jack Ryan. It's not like they were like, this fuck Hunt for October. We got to get.
Where do you stand on the Mexican?
The Brad Pitt one.
Julie Roberts,
Saw it
Gandolfini.
Saw it
Sorry.
once or twice. Don't really have a real.
It's not very good, but Gandolfini's great in that movie.
Yeah.
Gandolfini was just great for the entire 90s and nobody was kind of on it.
Get Shorty, True Romance.
8mm.
He was so demented in True Romance. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But like he was like fantastic. And then once again, kind of gets to that point, and I don't know, it doesn't happen as much anymore to me, where by the time Tony Soprano comes around, you go, oh, so it's his turn now. They're finally giving him something.
Right.
Good.
Watched Swingers with my wife and my daughter and her boyfriend who was in town. And it was my wife was insisting that they would like it. And I was like, all right, they're not going to like it.
They
And we
didn't like
watched it. They both loved it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Swingers. Still like really solid. Movie's almost 30 years old. We did it on the Rewatchables a million years ago. But I was like surprised how much they liked it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never know what's going to age and not age.
Yeah. I wonder if they would like Go, for instance.
Go.
We let go.
We like Go.
Love Swingers, but I always think about the scene where Favreau's character calls that girl like 90 times.
That's what they were going nuts.
And-
what a loser he was.
And that is
Yeah.
so tough to watch.
He has like 3 or 4 scenes in that movie where like my
Mikey.
daughter was like, oh my God, what's wrong with this
Yeah.
guy? But she kind of liked it. But it's a really fun snapshot of LA, even as the years pass and LA has changed since we've even been here.
Yeah.
Just what LA was like back then, pre-internet.
Last thing I'll say, there's no defining piece of whatever of LA culture like now. And that's what some of these things kind of miss. During that time, it was like, oh my God, I want to go to LA because it's
Right.
like, I mean, there's Beverly Hills 90210, there's Melrose Place, there's Swingers, there's even
Entourage.
and then Entourage.
There's
is
indie movies happening.
for the
and then-
next
yeah, and Entourage.
like generation. And now cities having personalities like that, everything's so homogenous. It's kind of like doesn't exist unless I'm missing some stuff.
No, I mean, I think the last big LA thing was probably Insecure.
Listen, I hope Joanna,
Insecure is great.
hopefully Joanna didn't hear that because we're trying to convince her to move to LA.
I mean,
LA's great. It's so cool here. There's so many different awesome
yeah, I'm
pockets.
telling you, it's
Joanna.
very, it's very politically active. You
It's
know
really
what I mean?
a special place.
They got great cats here.
Yeah.
It's all that kind
I
of
liked your
stuff.
point about Die Hard with a Vengeance just ending 30 minutes in
Because
because
LA.
somebody couldn't have gotten from Manhattan Beach to Brentwood.
Boom!
Fuck, how do I get to Brentwood? 405's clogged. All right, Chris Ryan, thank you. Van Lathan, thank you. Jack Sanders, is your mic on or no?
It is.
What was your take on Die Hard with a Vengeance?
I think when Bruce Willis found out that Sam Jackson was going to be his co-star in this film, it was the closest any person on the planet Earth has felt to the moment when LeBron James found out the Cavs traded for Kevin Love.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Look at Jack.
Jack.
I just think like this is my favorite Die Hard. I think it's better than the original one, personally, even though I think there are plenty of nicks to pit.
Yeah.
But when Sam Jackson shows up in the beginning of the movie, you're locked in.
Yeah.
He elevates the movie so much. It's
Call 911.
It's amazing.
Someone's about to get killed.
Tell him somebody get down here. Somebody's about to get killed.
I was afraid to even go to Jack after the Mets got annihilated by the Braves. I didn't know what kind of state
Not
of mind
worried.
he was, but I thought that was pretty cool.
It's a long season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Great seeing you.
Great seeing you.